Chapter 369. Di Hao Yin is here. Tang Bao closed the office door and even used his body to block it. It was as scary as if Di Hao Yin would barge in. He's in the office? Then I'm leaving. Wan Malay trembled. You're not allowed to leave. Why? Why should I stay here? Don't forget, the young master thought that I was the one who bought the medicine for you to abort the child. So do me a favor and don't let me live under the young master's terrifying gaze. Wan Malay begged pitifully. Then I'll go with you. Can't we leave one after the other? No. Then Tang Bao and Wan Malay left the office together. They even bypassed Zhou Jisen's office. They ran to the elevator and hurriedly went into the elevator. The two of them sat in the car and left the company before they both let out a sigh of relief. Tang Bao still had to look back to see if Di Hao Yin had chased after them. Thinking about it, why would Di Hao Yin chase after her? It wasn't like he didn't have a woman now. If he appeared in the company, he must have something to do with Zhou Jisen. It had nothing to do with her at all. What is the young master doing here? Wan Malay asked. Especially looking for you? No. He's here to look for Zhou Jisen. So why are we running? Tang Bao asked gloomily. How would Wan Malay know why they were running? Anyway, they just didn't want to meet Di Hao Yin face to face. The last time Di Hao Yin glanced at her, Wan Malay had nightmares at night. I won't be able to deliver food in the future. I'll stop. I'd better study hard. Tang Bao leaned his head weakly against the car window and said in a low voice, It's okay, I'll teach you well. Wan Malay patted her shoulder and comforted her. Tang Bao was speechless. No matter what the purpose of Di Hao Yin's appearance was, it had already scared Tang Bao away. Not only was Di Hao Yin domineering, but he was also unreasonable. He was allowed to find women outside, but she was not allowed to. Di Hao Yin wouldn't allow him to deliver food to Zhou Jisen either. When he saw Zhou Jisen the next day, Tang Bao snorted and glared at Zhou Jisen before walking past him. Zhou Jisen didn't mind and smiled. When he returned to his office, he saw that the thermos had been returned untouched. Then Van Malay took it to be washed. Soon, the day of the company's cocktail party arrived. Tang Bao searched her cloakroom for a long time, but he couldn't find any new clothes. Her new clothes were all in the castle, prepared for her by Di Hao Yin. In the Tang family, the clothes left behind were the leftovers from before. Tang Bao thought that although these clothes had been worn before, they were not old or torn. They could still be worn. If she had known, she would have listened to Wan Malay and bought them together. She accompanied Wan Malay to buy them, but she was not interested and said that there were new clothes at home. What did she have? There was nothing in the Tang family. When it was almost 5 o'clock, Tang Bao got into the car in a dress and a jacket. When she got out of the car, she saw Wan Malay standing at the gate. She was wearing a long dress with a fishtail and had a good figure. Although she was wearing a jacket, she was still cold in the cold wind. Tang Bao got out of the car and walked over. Why are you standing here? Aren't you cold? I'm waiting for you. You can wait for me inside. Are you stupid? Tang Bao looked at her as if she was an idiot. Don't be so heartless. Do you think I want to stand here and wait for you? You're stupid, but you're still finding excuses for yourself, Tang Bao said. Wan Malay was so angry that smoke almost came out of her. She tried to calm herself down and forced a smile on her face. I'm stupid, okay? Tang Bao, who was walking inside, asked, Are you waiting for me for something? Nothing. Tang Bao looked at her suspiciously. She was waiting at the gate for nothing and still refused to admit that she was stupid. Wan Malay thought to himself, Don't blame me for not reminding you. You're the one who provoked me. After Tang Bao went in, the doorman beside her took her jacket away. She was still wearing the dress from last winter's cocktail party. It was still fitting, which meant that she did not gain or lose weight. The dress was very ordinary, and her figure was very good, especially her chest. People could not take their eyes off her at first glance. Tang Bao was wearing the dress from last year, but her father was nowhere to be seen. Tang Bao looked at the banquet. Why did she feel that something was different? The inside was ridiculously grand and much more luxurious than previous years. Every detail was dignified and luxurious, as if it was a supreme banquet. When Tang Bao frowned, she saw Di Hao Yin in the crowd. She suddenly froze. Why is he here? Tang Bao stuttered and asked one Malay beside her. I was waiting for you at the gate. I wanted to tell you something, and you still said that I'm stupid. Wan Malay finally regained her dignity. Who invited him? Tang Bao lowered her voice and roared in her heart. This cocktail party is organized together with tea. There's no invitation. Tang Bao looked around. No wonder it was so luxurious, and there were so many people. She was still wondering how Zhou Jisen could waste money like this. Even if it was a different cocktail party, it should not be so different. Who knew that it was organized together with tea? Tang Bao didn't feel good at all. Can I turn around and leave? When you were at the gate just now, you could. But now you can't. Everyone saw you. Wan Malay had just finished speaking when a company leader came to greet her. Wan Malay gave Tang Bao a glass of wine and put in her hand. Tang Bao immediately smiled awkwardly and talked to the person who came up to her. When she turned around, she saw Di Junbai raising his glass at her and smiling. Tang Bao was stunned for a moment before he smiled back. Well, the Di family would definitely come to T's cocktail party. She looked at Di Haoyan again and saw the coldness on Di Haoyan's face and eyes. Lan Wanru walked to Di Haoyan's side and looked like a little bird. Tang Bao turned her eyes away and pretended not to see it. She thought, what AF asterisk head up cocktail party? While Wan Malay was talking to her colleagues, Tang Bao went to the dining area to look for food. She had not been to T's cocktail party before. What was there to eat? Since she was here, she could not be affected by others. Tang Bao walked to the dining area and saw the dazzling array of delicacies that looked like works of art. She almost drooled, but she was still the company's president Tang. She could not wolf down the food in front of outsiders. She put the food on her plate like everyone else and then sat there to eat slowly. When it entered his mouth, Tang Bao's eyes shone with delight. She had never eaten the delicacies here before. Moreover, they looked very expensive. T's cocktail party really belonged to the upper class. Others saw that Tang Bao was eating and did not disturb her. As for the opposite sex, they did not dare to come forward. Who did not know that Tang Bao had a close relationship with T's leader? Chapter 370. Because no one knew that Di Haoyan was already married. Tang Bao didn't care either. At least if she was dumped by Di Haoyan one day, she wouldn't think that it was a divorce. No one came to disturb her, but there were still some tactless people. Another plate of delicacies was placed across the table. There was only one piece of food on the plate, and it looked somewhat reserved and cultivated. The food on Tang Bao's plate was many times more than that. Do you mind if I sit here? Lan Wanru sat down. Tang Bao raised her head, swallowed the food in her mouth, and said, I mind. The smile on Lan Wanru's face froze, but she still maintained it. Today is T's cocktail party, and it's almost the new year. You don't have to be so hostile towards me. Sorry, I always keep a distance from things I don't like. Lan Wanru felt that she couldn't maintain the smile on her face. If this wasn't T's cocktail party, and the Di family's people were here, she wouldn't have to be like this. Tang Bao, I've been living in the castle for so long, and you haven't come back. Are you and Brother Haoyan not reconciling? Lan Wanru gave the signal that she had been living in the castle. Tang Bao's expression changed, and she hid the sourness in her heart. She said, Isn't it better if I don't go back? You'll be the mistress of the castle in the future. I hope you get what you want one day. Don't worry, I definitely will, and it will be very soon. Lan Wanru said as she ate the food on her plate. It was as if she came here to eat. Tang Bao felt that the food in her mouth was tasteless. She knew that, but when Lan Wanru showed off in front of her, she still felt her heart fluctuate. Could she pretend that nothing happened? But what could she say? What could she do to salvage? Looks like the delicacies we prepared are very popular. Ha! A satisfied voice came from behind her. Tang Bao turned around and saw Di Lingyue, Liu Huai, and Di Haoyan, who was expressionless. She stood up and greeted Di Lingyue and his wife, second uncle, second aunt. Even though she and Di Haoyan were not on good terms now, they were not legally divorced yet, so she still had to call him that. Tang Bao, I haven't seen you in a long time. When are you going to visit your second aunt? Liu Huai said enthusiastically. Yes, I'll definitely go, Tang Bao said perfunctorily. Liu Huai then looked at Lan Wanru and said, "You didn't like to eat these things before, but it seems that the food prepared this time has whetted your appetite." Lan Wanru shyly looked at Di Haotian. "Thank you, Brother Haotian." When the Tang Bao heard this, he immediately felt the delicious food in his stomach turn sour. He wanted to vomit it out immediately. It seemed that Di Haotian had prepared it for Lan Wanru. Why was she eating so enthusiastically for no reason? "You guys have a good chat. I'll go first." Tang Bao smiled, walked past Di Haotian, and left. Wan Malay walked over. Seeing that Tang Bao did not look too good, he asked, "What's wrong? What can it be? I can't talk to them." Tang Bao stopped and handed him a drink. Tang Bao looked up and was stunned. Di Junbai had a gentle smile on his face. "I see that you've been eating, so drink something to moisten your body." Wan Malay looked at the gentle and elegant Di Junbai and thought, "Do all women like this kind of man? He's too considerate." "Thank you." Tang Bao took the drink, raised his head, and drank it all. Wan Malay was speechless. Can't he be more reserved? Di Junbai looked at Tang Bao and chuckled. He took the empty glass and passed it to the waiter beside him. He asked, "Do you still want a drink?" "No." Tang Bao shook his head. Di Junbai looked around and said, "Today's cocktail party is different from previous years. I didn't expect to be with your company." "I didn't expect it either." Tang Bao's face was full of dissatisfaction. She felt that she had been tricked by Zhou Jisen. "My colleagues are calling me. I'll go over for a while," Wan Malay said and left. Tang Bao looked over. Where was her colleague? "Actually, you can leave after showing your face," Di Junbai said. Really?" Tang Bao was surprised. "Is that okay?" "Of course it's okay. I'll be leaving later too," Di Junbai said with a smile. Tang Bao looked at Di Junbai's expression. He knew that he must have seen his embarrassment and discomfort, so he said that. Tang Bao was touched. However, he could only pretend that he did not know his good intentions. Who asked her to be a married woman now? Moreover, Di Haotian's possessiveness was extremely terrifying. Tang Bao was still afraid and did not dare to disobey. When he turned his head, he met a pair of deep and stern eyes. Tang Bao's little heart was shocked. He turned around and said to Di Junbai, "I'm going to look for Malay." "Okay." Di Junbai saw Tang Bao turn around and leave. He came back to his senses and saw Di Haotian, who was as cold as frost. There was only calmness on his face and nothing else. Tang Bao walked to Wan Malay, who was drinking in the corner, and took a drink from the table. He always felt that he had a guilty conscience. What was there to feel guilty about? Di Haotian was worse than her, wasn't he? In the end, Di Haotian was too domineering and could not be disobeyed. "Are you giving Di Junbai and me a chance?" Tang Bao asked. "No way. Isn't it inconvenient for you to talk if I'm not there?" Wan Malay said. "Besides, there's so many people at the cocktail party. What's wrong with you and Di Junbai standing together and talking? Isn't it normal?" Tang Bao sighed deeply in his heart. It was normal for others, but not for Di Haotian. As long as Di Haotian was unhappy, no matter how normal it would become abnormal. "Do you like the cocktail party?" Tang Bao asked. "Yes, I do. Tea's cocktail party. I feel like I'm dreaming." Tang Bao nodded. He put down the cup in his hand and said, "I'm going to the bathroom." Wan Malay wanted to follow, but was stopped by his colleagues. Tang Bao went to the bathroom alone. The bathrooms were separated into men's and women's bathrooms. When Tang Bao was about to go to the women's bathroom, a strong force pulled him directly into the men's bathroom, pushed him into the cubicle, and slammed the door. Tang Bao came back to his senses and looked at Di Haotian, who was standing in front of him with a shadow covering her, in astonishment. "What are you doing? Are you having fun talking to Di Junbai?" Di Haotian's face was cold, and his aura was dangerous. "Can't you be more reasonable? We're not strangers. Can't we talk when we see each other?" "I can't talk." Tang Bao didn't want to argue with him. He just wanted to leave this place. But he was suppressed by Di Haotian. "Di Haotian, what are you doing?" Tang Bao struggled, but couldn't break free. He could only ask angrily, "This is the men's bathroom. Can you let me out?" "Where are you going? Looking for Di Junbai?" "Yes, I'm going to look for Di Junbai. You go look for Lan Wanru. Let's not care about each other, okay?" Chapter 371. Let go of me. Tang Bao was so angry that she wanted to break free from Di Haoyin's big hand. However, the more she tried to break free, the stronger Di Haoyin's hand became. She couldn't do it. Di Haoyin questioned. No. Tang Bao stomped her feet on the ground anxiously, tears in her eyes. He must be crazy. Tang Bao took his child without his permission and betrayed him, but he made so much food for her at the banquet. How could he calm down when she turned around and talked to Di Junbai? He couldn't wait to ruin everything here. He wanted to let her know what the consequences of talking to another man were. Tang Bao was so angry that her whole body trembled, but her tears couldn't stop rolling down. Tang Bao took the opportunity to push him away forcefully. She didn't even look at Di Haoyin, pushed open the door of the isolation room, and ran out. However, as soon as the door opened, she saw Di Junbai walking into the washroom. Di Junbai looked at the embarrassed Tang Bao and was stunned. Tang Bao wiped the tears on her face and ran away with her head lowered. Di Haoyin walked out of the cubicle, glanced coldly at Di Junbai, and was about to walk out of the washroom. Brother, Tang Bao is crying, Di Junbai said. It has something to do with you. Di Haoyin looked at him sharply. I hope you can reconcile, Di Junbai said. I don't need you to be nosy. Di Haoyin turned around and left with a gloomy face. Di Haoyin walked into the venue of the party. His dark eyes looked around, but he didn't see Tang Bao. Hiju walked up and said, Young master, young madam has left. Di Haoyin's expression was cold. He didn't say anything, but no one dared to get close to him. Tang Bao didn't even say anything to Wan Malay. She got into the car and left. The car drove out for a long time. The light from the street lamps shone in, and there was a thick layer of mist in her eyes. What did he want to do before he gave up? Wasn't it enough for her to see the intimacy between him and Lan Wanru at the cocktail party? Tang Bao felt a sharp pain in her heart. It was so painful that she shed tears. She was afraid that she wouldn't be able to hold on at the banquet and would run away. Presumably, Lan Wanru would be very pleased to see this, right? But she couldn't care less. When he reached home and returned to his room, his phone rang. He did not bring his Tang Bao cell phone with him. As soon as he entered the room, the phone on the bedside table rang. He didn't know how long it had been ringing. Since he could not see the caller ID clearly, Tang Bao answered the call directly. Wan Malay's voice was heard. Where are you? Why didn't I see you in the bathroom? I'm going home. You're going back so early? Wan Malay was stunned and asked. I'm sleepy. I want to sleep early. Are you okay? I'm fine. Wan Malay didn't ask again. In fact, even if she didn't ask, she knew why he was going back so early. Even she was angry when she saw Lan Wanru at the cocktail party. Why did he keep following Di Haoyin? He was too shameless. Didn't he know that he was a married man? At this moment, Wan Malay saw Di Haoyin walking towards the entrance of the cocktail party, followed by his bodyguards. Did he mean that he was leaving? Wan Malay followed him out and saw Di Haoyin's car leaving. It seemed that he didn't want to stay at the cocktail party either. He didn't take Lan Wanru away either. What kind of plot was this? She couldn't understand it. Young master, are you going back to the castle? Hiju asked. There was a long silence in the car. It was so long that she thought that he wouldn't speak again. Di Haoyin said expressionlessly, Bar. Hiju didn't say anything. Actually, it wasn't surprising. Ever since his relationship with Tang Bao became like this, the young master would go to the bar every day and return to the castle very late. In the bar, Gu Linxin turned to the door of the private room. He looked at the person drinking alone in the private room and walked in. He sat down on the sofa and said, I heard that you've been coming here to drink every day recently. Aren't you afraid that they won't be able to supply you with alcohol? Then don't open it, Di Haoyin said without raising his head. I'm just afraid that they won't dare. Gu Linxin looked at Di Haoyin and shook his head. No one would believe that you get drunk every day for a woman. Di Haoyin drank all the alcohol in his glass and leaned back lazily. He lit a cigarette and took a deep breath. The smoke immediately filled the air. It was sexy and charming. Who told you that I'm doing this for a woman? Di Haoyin said expressionlessly. Isn't that so? Gu Linxin smiled faintly. Aren't the two of you living separately? Di Haoyin raised his dark eyes and looked at Gu Linshin opposite him. The more he looked at him, the more he found him to be an eyesore. Since you know that, why don't you find me a woman? Gu Linshin was surprised. Are you serious? Yes. Gu Linshin's lips curled up. That's easy. I want the one in your house. Gu Linshin's smile froze. His eyes were cold. She's not good enough. As long as she doesn't lack any body parts. Don't you see that she's so ugly? Gu Linshin's expression was already very bad. Don't you know that I have a strong taste? At this moment, the door of the private room was pushed open. Luo Luoli stuck her head in and saw Gu Linshin inside. Her eyes immediately lit up. Little uncle, you're really here? She then walked in. Gu Linshin was stunned. He immediately stood up and pulled her away without a word. Di Haoyan had a cigarette in his mouth. His head was leaning against the back of the sofa, and his eyes were closed as he let the cigarette burn. Luo Luoli was pulled all the way out of the bar. Her wrists hurt when they were released. She rubbed her wrists and looked at Gu Linshin, who looked very bad. Little uncle, what's wrong? Who told you to come to the bar? Gu Linshin looked at her coldly. I heard that you were at the bar, so I came to look for you. Luo Luoli did not feel that she had done anything wrong. Little uncle, did you come to the bar to drink? Don't you have alcohol at home? Why did you come here? What if you get drunk? I didn't come to the bar to drink. Gu Linshin looked at her coldly. Then what are you here for? To look for a woman. Get in the car. Gu Linshin suppressed his growl. Luo Luoli saw that Gu Linshin was not to be trifled with, so she had no choice but to get in the car obediently. After getting in the car, she sat down obediently. After Gu Linshin got in, the car drove away from the bar. Chapter 372. Gu Linshin looked at Luo Luoli with his deep eyes. He did not look like a beautiful woman at all. Di Haoyan was looking for trouble. This made Gu Linshin feel very gloomy. Luo Luoli felt goosebumps all over her body when Gu Linshin looked at her, but she did not dare to say anything. Go back after the exam, Gu Linshin ordered. Why? I don't want to go back. Luo Luoli was unhappy when she heard this. Is it up to you? Gu Linshin's face was cold. It was as if there was no room for negotiation. Luo Luoli panicked and immediately sat down beside Gu Linshin. Little uncle, sit back down. Gu Linshin frowned. Luo Luoli had no choice but to sit back down. Little uncle, why do you want to go back? I'm living well here. I haven't caused you any trouble. I haven't spent any of the money you gave me. What do you want to do if you don't go back for the new year? If she did not go back for the new year, she would definitely not go back on normal days. Little uncle, I beg you, don't make me go back, okay? I'll go back after the new year, okay? Luo Luoli said. You'll go back after the new year? Don't try to be smart in front of me. Gu Linshin looked at her coldly. Luo Luoli, who had been exposed, bit her lip. If her face had not been so yellow, one would have been able to see the redness on her face. Little uncle, I'll do anything you want me to do. Just don't send me back, okay? Gu Linshin looked at Luo Luoli's teary eyes and felt frustrated. He did not say anything, but Luo Luoli definitely could not stay with him for long. Not only did he have to send her back, but he also had to keep her away from him forever. Luo Luoli did not know if her little uncle would send her back. There was a depressing silence in the car. After getting out of the car, Gu Linshin didn't look any better, so Luo Luoli didn't ask any more questions. After going to school for a month, she didn't get close to anyone in the school. The boys thought she was ugly, and the girls thought she was a freak. Anyway, she could hear people saying that she was a freak every day. Those who couldn't stand it would even frame her. They either put disgusting bugs in her bag or put glue on her seat. At first, Luo Luoli would still fall for it, but later on, it would not. It was better to be vigilant, but it couldn't be avoided completely. After school, Luo Luoli waited for the school bus at the school gate. There were quite a lot of people on the school bus, including other students. People were pointing at her from behind, but Luo Luoli pretended not to hear them. Aya! A girl behind her screamed as cold liquid sprayed onto Luo Luoli's face. Luo Luoli was shocked. She raised her hand to wipe it, only to find that it was milk. Not only was there milk on her face, but also on her body. The girl who spilled milk on her didn't apologize. Instead, she laughed and joked with the other girls. Luo Luoli was expressionless. She didn't question them and continued to stand there waiting for the school bus. However, a black luxury car was parked not far from the school gate. Gu Linshen watched everything coldly from inside. Luo Luoli could see that these girls were pranking her, and she thought that they would stop after one prank. She didn't know if they thought that waiting for the school bus was too boring or if they thought that Luo Luoli was easy to bully. The girls started to play without restraint. Then, one of the girls poked Luo Luoli's waist with the tip of her umbrella. Ouch! Luo Luoli frowned in pain and covered her waist with her hand. She turned to look at the girls behind her. The girls asked arrogantly, "What are you looking at? Haven't you seen a beauty before? Ugly. Are you bullying me because I'm ugly?" Luo Luoli asked. "Did we bully you? Which eye of yours saw it?" Luo Luoli didn't speak. "I'm asking you which eye of yours saw it. Say something." The leader of the girls was especially arrogant. She pushed Luo Luoli with her hand. Luo Luoli was pushed back 2 steps, but she didn't fight back. "Look at your ugly face. How can you be in the same class as us? I'm not in the mood to study just looking at you." The girl with the umbrella poked Luo Luoli's stomach again. However, before the tip of the umbrella could reach her, it was suddenly grabbed by a large hand. Gu Linshen's face was cold. He pulled the umbrella back from the girl's hand and viciously whipped it at the girl. "Ah!" The girl screamed and fell to the ground, motionless. The other girls were frightened. Before they could react, Gu Linshen whipped the umbrella in his hand one by one. In a few seconds, all the girls had fainted on the ground. Luo Luoli was stunned. She looked at Gu Linshen in disbelief. Little uncle." Gu Linshen threw the umbrella in his hand and looked at Luo Luoli. The coldness in his eyes was so clear. Luo Luoli swallowed all the words she wanted to say. Luo Luoli got into the car, her 2 hands placed obediently by her side. The scenery outside the car kept moving backward. Luo Luoli occasionally looked at the scenery and at Gu Linshen's gloomy face. "Are you an idiot?" "Ah, I'm not an idiot," Luo Luoli said. "If you're not an idiot, why didn't you fight back when you were hit?" Gu Linshen was furious when he saw the scene just now. He wanted to pry open Luo Luoli's brain and see what was inside. "Didn't little uncle say not to cause trouble?" She lowered her voice because of Gu Linshen's terrifying gaze. "I told you not to cause trouble, but I didn't tell you not to fight back. What are you afraid of? If anything happens, I'll take care of it. Then, even if I cause trouble, little uncle won't send me back, right?" Luo Luoli asked immediately. Gu Linshen's cold eyes were stunned. "You didn't fight back because you were afraid that I'd send you back?" Luo Luoli pursed her lips and nodded. Gu Linshen tugged at his collar. It was obvious that he was annoyed at the moment. He had never been so annoyed before. Luo Luoli saw that Gu Linshen's expression did not improve and asked carefully, "Little uncle, you won't send me back, right? I didn't cause trouble." Gu Linshen looked at her coldly. It was frightening. Luo Luoli immediately looked away and stopped asking. On the way back, Luo Luoli was still thinking about the girls who had been hit by her little uncle. Would things get worse tomorrow? Sure enough, things would get worse. After class, Luo Luoli walked out of the classroom and went to the washroom. After using the washroom, she returned to the classroom. Just as she reached the classroom door, one of the girls who had been hit yesterday pointed at Luo Luoli and said, "Dad, it was her. She ordered people to hit me. There were other girls who were hit too." "Yes, uncle. It was Luo Luoli who ordered people to hit us." Luo Luoli looked at the girls who were pointing at her and then at the middle-aged man next to them. Were they calling her parents? The middle-aged man walked in front of Luo Luoli and blocked her with his fat body. He asked fiercely, "Did you order people to hit my daughter?" Chapter 373. She couldn't beat the middle-aged man in front of her. Misunderstanding? Zhang Chao went home with a big bruise on the back of his neck. Zhang Chao's father pulled Zhang Chao's sweater off. Luo Luoli saw a big bruise on the side of Zhang Chao's neck. It was slightly swollen, as if his neck would break if he used a little more force. Luo Luoli was shocked. She didn't expect her youngest uncle to be so heavy-handed. That was true. At that time, her uncle's strength had frightened her, but seeing the injury with her own eyes still made her panic. Me too, me too. The other girls didn't call their parents, but someone stood up. They were definitely going to deal with Luo Luoli together. Zhang Chao's father reached out and patted Luo Luoli's head. Did you call them? Luo Luoli's expression changed. But what if she couldn't beat the adults? Just as Luo Luoli was about to explain the cause of the incident, her eyes moved slightly. She saw Gu Linshin walking over with a group of unfriendly subordinates behind him. A dark aura swept over them. Luo Luoli had a bad feeling. The others were also shocked by this aura. Which hand touched her? Gu Linshin stood still and looked over with a cold gaze. Zhang Chao's father found himself speechless. Even his hand was numb from a shock. This one, Gu Linshin ordered fiercely. Break it. Luo Luoli hadn't recovered from her shock when she heard a pitiful cry. She looked again and saw Zhang Chao's father's hand dangling there like a broken branch. Gu Linshin looked at the man in pain as if he was looking at grass and said, I was the one who hit you yesterday. Now you can settle the score with me. Dad! Zhang Chao was also frightened. His face was pale and he stood there, unable to move. He could only cry out like that. The principal heard the commotion and hurried over. He looked as frightened as the students. Young Master Gu. Gu Linshin looked at him coldly. Are you tired of being the principal? I'm sorry, young Master Gu. It was my mistake. I won't do it again. The principal's forehead started to sweat. My niece is being bullied here. How can I not care? Gu Linshin said matter-of-factly. The smile in his black eyes was especially chilling. Yes. I will expel these people immediately. The principal hurriedly promised. There's no need to expel me. I'm not that unreasonable. Before Gu Linshin could finish his sentence, his eyes darkened. However, if my niece loses even a strand of hair, I will break someone's hand. Let me see how many hands they have. Gu Linshin was clearly trying to intimidate him, but others still had to go along with him. They didn't dare to disobey. Luo Luoli was still standing there in a daze, even after the others had dispersed in fear. Gu Linshin turned to look at her. His black eyes narrowed slightly. Luo Luoli ignored him and threw herself at Gu Linshin. She crashed into his strong arms and hugged him tightly. Gu Linshin was stunned. His eyes were even more stunned. After recovering from his shock, he pushed Luo Luoli away roughly. His eyes were gloomy. What are you doing? Luo Luoli, who was pushed away roughly, didn't feel uncomfortable at all. She wasn't afraid of Gu Linshin's gaze. With a cautious expression on her face, she asked, Little uncle, do you admit that I'm your niece? Gu Linshin's gloomy expression froze. Little uncle is my family now. I'm so happy. Then I can tell others that I have a very powerful little uncle in the future. Luo Luoli said happily. Gu Linshin's expression changed. I don't have a niece as stupid as you. I'm not stupid. I can't beat that man just now. Also, if anyone bullies me in the future, I'll just say that I'm little uncle. That's all. You're quite good at making use of people. Gu Linshin said unhappily. Luo Luoli smiled charmingly. Little uncle, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I have to go back to class. She turned and ran, but stopped after a few steps. She met Gu Linshin's deep, dark eyes and said, The only thing I've decided to do is to look for little uncle. After saying this, she ran away. Gu Linshin looked at her cheerful figure and seemed to be infected. The corners of his mouth lifted. Then, when he realized what he was doing, his expression turned ugly again. Luo Luoli definitely couldn't stay here for too long. She had to go back to school eventually. The next day, Luo Luoli arrived at the classroom and found that Zhang Chao was no longer there. She heard the discussions of her classmates and found out that they had transferred schools. Luo Luoli thought that since her little uncle said that there was no need to expel them, then he definitely wouldn't expel them. It seemed that she had scared them away. Ever since her little uncle went to school, no one dared to bully her. There were even students who tried to curry favor with him. Luo Luoli felt that this was better than not bullying her at all. Luo Luoli quickly won her exams. She did well. This was all thanks to her little uncle. Although her little uncle's expression was a little ugly, his temper was a little bad, His gaze was a little scary, and his aura was a little gloomy. He was still very good. After all, her little uncle was the reason why she was able to handle things so well. Luo Luoli ran out of the school gates and saw a familiar black car waiting outside. A happy smile immediately appeared on her face, and she ran up. After the bodyguard opened the door, she got in. Little uncle. Gu Linshin sat lazily inside, his gaze sharp. Did you do well? Luo Luoli was stunned for a moment and shook her head honestly. I don't know. If you don't know, then why are you smiling so happily? Gu Linshin frowned. That's because I saw little uncle. That's why I'm happy. Luo Luoli spoke honestly. Gu Linshin's deep eyes were slightly stunned. Under Luo Luoli's clear and trusting gaze, he looked away. He looked out the window. Little uncle, did you specially come to pick me up? Aren't you busy? Luo Luoli asked. I'm taking you to buy clothes. Why do you want to buy clothes? Luo Luoli asked blankly. To celebrate the new year. So you want to buy new clothes for the new year? Luo Luoli nodded in understanding. After getting out of the car, Gu Linshin took Luo Luoli to shop in the mall. Luo Luoli had the youthful exuberance of a young girl from head to toe. She looked at this one moment and touched at the next. Even if she had money on her, she wouldn't go to such a high-end mall to buy things. She had never been here before, so she was full of curiosity. Gu Linshin didn't care about her and let her do whatever she wanted. Chapter 374. Which part of your body isn't my money? Gu Linshin stared at her with his dark eyes. Luo Luoli rubbed her nose and went to pick out the clothes. It didn't take long for her to pick out an outfit. When he came out of the fitting room, Gu Linshin's eyes froze for a moment, but his expression didn't change. Little uncle, do I look good? Luo Luoli skipped over to Gu Linshin and asked. Gu Linshin said to the salesperson, I'll take this one. The salesperson blushed and went to settle the bill in front of such a cold and noble man. Little uncle, why is she blushing? Luo Luoli asked in confusion. Gu Linshin's expression was cold. Luo Luoli immediately stopped talking. She felt that her little uncle was really unpredictable. After removing the tags from the new clothes, she put them on. Then she left the women's clothing store. Gu Linshin glanced at the shoes on Luo Luoli's feet and took her to the shoe store. Luo Luoli was still looking at all kinds of beautiful shoes when Gu Linshin glanced at them and chose a pair for her. Luo Luoli didn't expect her little uncle to choose shoes for her. She accepted it no matter what. However, she found that the shoes looked especially good on her feet and matched the clothes on her body. Luo Luoli felt that her little uncle was really good to her today. It made her feel very happy. However, the price of the clothes and shoes really made her speechless. Even if she had $1 million, she wouldn't buy clothes that were too expensive. However, her little uncle didn't even blink. He was really rich. Little uncle, can we go back now? Luo Luoli asked. Let's go eat. Eat outside? Yes, Gu Linshin replied indifferently. Luo Luoli didn't care. As long as she ate with her little uncle, she could eat anywhere. When the door of the private room opened, Luo Luoli, who was walking in, stopped in her tracks. The smile on his face turned into surprise. He looked at the middle-aged woman sitting inside and called out, Mom? Luo Meiwan stood up and looked at her daughter, whom she hadn't seen for a long time. Apart from the fact that her face and head were still the same, she could tell what kind of life she was living with just by looking at her clothes and shoes. She heaved a sigh of relief and looked at Gu Linshin with gratitude and guilt. Thank you. I've troubled you. You don't have to thank me. Gu Linshin pulled out a chair and sat down expressionlessly. Luo Luoli stiffly sat down on the chair. Can you go back now that you're done being willful? I don't know what you're throwing a tantrum for, but Mama is very worried about you at home. Do you know that? Luo Meiwan said angrily and distressed. Luo Luoli looked up at Luo Meiwan and asked, Are you here to take me back? Yes. What did it look like to stay at little uncle's place all the time? Linshin, have you settled the matter of transferring to another school? Gu Linshin nodded. Luo Luoli looked at Gu Linshin in disbelief. She saw something in those deep black eyes that made her heart turn cold. She was wondering why her youngest uncle was suddenly so nice to her and even accompanied her to buy clothes. It turned out that he wanted to send her away. He didn't even tell her and couldn't wait for her to leave. Linshin, Dad, is your dad okay? Luo Meiwan realized that she had misspoken and immediately corrected herself. He seems to be fine. Gu Linshin's gaze was deep. He wanted to reach for a cigarette, but when he touched it, he let go. That's good. You didn't tell your dad about Luoli, right? No. Luo Meiwan smiled and nodded. Her expression was unnatural. She used to be a member of the Gu family, but because of her willfulness, she ended up like this. She was too ashamed to have anything to do with the Gu family. If it weren't for Luo Luoli, she would never have been associated with the wealthy Gu family. The dishes were served quickly. When Luo Luoli was eating, Luo Meiwan put some food in her bowl. Luo Luoli ate silently and didn't say anything. Luo Meiwan and Gu Linshin weren't very close. When she left the Gu family, Gu Linshin was still young. Later, she heard some rumors about Gu Linshin, saying that he was very cruel. She didn't expect that Luo Luoli would accept him for so long. However, this didn't mean that her relationship with Gu Linshin had improved. Therefore, the atmosphere at the dining table was very oppressive. Gu Linshin didn't say anything either. The aura around him was very cold and calm. It was until they finished eating and left. When they reached the door, Luo Luoli was about to get into a taxi, but Luo Meiwan stopped her. Say hi to youngest uncle. How can you not say anything? Luo Luoli's back stiffened. After a few seconds, she turned around hesitantly and met Gu Linshin's deep black eyes. Thank you for taking care of me during this time, youngest uncle. Gu Linshin didn't say anything. He just looked at her with his deep eyes. After Luo Luoli finished speaking, she turned around and got into the taxi. She didn't look at Gu Linshin again. Linshin, thank you so much. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have been able to bring her back. Luo Meiwan finished speaking. Seeing that Gu Linshin didn't say anything, she guessed that he didn't want to say anything more. She turned around and got into the taxi. After the taxi drove out, Luo Luoli didn't turn back to look at Gu Linshin. Her eyes were filled with tears, but she held them back. Luo Luoli, don't you want to go back with Mommy? Luo Meiwan saw that Luo Luoli kept looking out of the car window and knew that she was angry. I'm old enough to live alone, Luo Luoli said. Don't be stubborn. You're not even 18 years old. How can you live alone? Do you have to make Mommy worry? Mommy only has you. Luo Meiwan sighed. Don't you still have your husband? Why am I the only one left? Or did you divorce him? Luo Luoli turned around and asked. Of course not. I'm living well with him. He's good to me and to you. Why did you divorce him? I just don't know why you don't like him. Luo Luoli turned her face away. Her expression was very ugly. It's my freedom to not like him. Okay. If you don't like him, then forget it. You'll understand in the future. But don't be angry with him in front of Mommy. Mommy is very difficult. Luo Meiwan didn't know how to educate this child. Based on her temper with Gu Linshin, she couldn't be more patient than her, right? You've been living with your uncle for a while. Has he been good to you? Not bad. Luo Luoli wanted to say that he had been good, but when she thought about Gu Linshin's behavior, she changed her mind. That's good. Don't come over in the future. Your uncle. Luo Luoli looked at Luo Meiwan, who wanted to say something but stopped. She asked, what's wrong with him? Nothing. Luo Meiwan stroked Luo Luoli's afro. It's good that you're back. Luo Luoli didn't think it was good at all. They took a few bus transfers before they reached home. Their family was poor and lived in an ordinary neighborhood. No, this wasn't her home. It was that man's home. Chapter 375. Why aren't you walking? Luo Meiwan asked. I want to go to the supermarket outside to buy some food. Luo Luoli said. I'll go with you. No need. It's just outside. I'll be back soon. You go up first. Luo Luoli said. Luo Meiwan didn't have any doubts and said, then come back quickly after you buy it. I know. Luo Luoli looked at Luo Meiwan, who was tricked by her, and her heart ached. It wasn't that she didn't want to go back, but she really didn't want to hurt her mother's heart. When Luo Meiwan disappeared in the corridor, Luo Luoli turned around and ran out of the community in a hurry. Luo Meiwan entered the house. Inside, Chun Shiwejing was cooking. Knowing that Luo Luoli was coming back today, he cooked a lot of her favorite dishes. Hearing the noise, Chun Shiwejing hurried out of the kitchen, but only saw Luo Meiwan alone. He asked, "Where's Loli?" "She's back. She's outside the community buying food," Luo Meiwan said. However, Chun Shiwejing's face immediately changed. He threw his apron on the ground. "How can you let her buy food alone? What does it matter if she goes to the supermarket?" "Shiwejing, where are you going?" Luo Meiwan saw Chun Shiwejing run out. He didn't know what was going on and could only chase after him. After walking around the supermarket, he didn't see Luo Luoli's figure. Luo Meiwan was puzzled. "Where's Loli? Didn't she buy food here? You still have a nerve to ask?" "She ran away," Chun Shiwejing shouted at Luo Meiwan in a bad temper. "What? Why did she run away? I already brought her back. We're already at the door." Luo Meiwan didn't understand why Luo Luoli ran away. Did she not want to stay at home that much? "Tell me, what kind of parent are you? You can't even look after a child." In the eyes of outsiders, they would think that Chun Shiwejing was the biological parent of the missing child, and Luo Meiwan was just a stepmother. Because Chun Shiwejing was even more anxious than Luo Meiwan. She must have gone to her uncle's place again. "I'll make a call," Luo Meiwan said and took out his phone. At this moment, Gu Linshin had just arrived at the mansion. He didn't look too good, and his whole body was as cold as ice. No one dared to approach him. When he entered the living room, he pulled at his collar in annoyance and threw his jacket on the sofa. Seeing this, the servant immediately took the suit away and put it away respectfully. Now it was quiet. Gu Linshin did not have the patience to take care of his child every day. Just as he thought so, his phone rang. Gu Linshin frowned when he saw the number. She answered, "What's the matter?" "Linshin, did Lolita look for you?" "No. If she's looking for you now, she shouldn't be here so soon." "Linshin, if she goes to your place, can you ask her to give me a call? I want to bring her back." Luo Meijuan's voice came from the other end. "She ran away again?" Gu Linshin's eyes were very cold. "Yes." When she was at the door, she suddenly said that she wanted to buy food. I didn't think too much about it and let her go. But when I went to the supermarket to look for her, she wasn't there. She didn't pick up either. I really don't know what to do. Luo Meiwan did not know what to do with Luo Luoli. Gu Linshin hung up the phone with a gloomy face and called Luo Luoli directly. However, Luo Luoli did not pick up his call either. No one dared to not pick up his call. Therefore, Gu Linshin's aura became even colder. The point was that Gu Linshin only called once, but now he had called several times. He did not even pick up a single call. Gu Linshin did not believe that Luo Luoli could not see his call. Luo Luoli did see it. Looking at the number, she was stunned but did not want to pick it up. She huddled alone in the corner of the street, holding the phone and muttering to herself, "Why did you call me? Didn't you not want me? Why do you care so much?" Luo Luoli looked at the caller ID, little uncle. The more she looked at it, the angrier she became. Hearing the ringtone, she became even angrier. She simply turned off the phone. Gu Linshin's face was so dark that he almost smashed the phone when he heard the robotic female voice in his ear. That terrifying aura made the servants feel that it was too close, no matter how far away they were. Gu Linshin's expression was cold. Luo Luoli definitely would not come to his place. If she came, she would not pick up the phone. Gu Linshin thought that maybe she was afraid that he would stop her from coming over, so she wanted to stay here and talk to him. Therefore, Gu Linshin just waited. His irritation was very obvious. He did not dare to take a deep breath. 2 hours later, Luo Luoli still did not appear. Based on the distance, it should not take so long. Gu Linshin called again, but the phone was still turned off. Gu Linshin's expression was extremely ugly. Luo Luoli obviously did not want to contact anyone. Damn it, if he found her, he would teach her a lesson. Come with me to find her. Gu Linshin found someone to check the traffic surveillance. He found that Luo Luoli did not return to D-City. Therefore, he went to the city where Luo Luoli was and used the power in his hands to check the traffic surveillance. However, he found that Luo Luoli had gone to another city. Gu Linshin brought his men and went there. Along the way, Gu Linshin's expression was tense. He did not believe that he could not find her. The longer it took to find her, the uglier Gu Linshan's expression became. He wished that he could tear Luo Luoli apart and swallow her alive. The sky gradually darkened. Luo Luoli did not go to a hotel or motel. Her money was all given to her by Gu Linshan. He did not want her anymore, so why should she spend his money? Although Luo Luoli was poor, she was stubborn sometimes. If she said she did not need it, then she did not need it. Anyway, when she was a beggar, she used to sleep under the bridge. Finding a nest to sleep in was not a problem. Luo Luoli walked along the street corner and rummaged through the trash, trying to find a blanket for herself. It would be easier if it was summer. However, it was winter. If she did not cover herself with a blanket, she would freeze to death. While Luo Luoli was rummaging through the trash, 3 young men walked over with their arms around each other's shoulders. When they passed by Luo Luoli, one of them looked up and down at Luo Luoli's body with a perverted gaze. Then he stopped walking. Luo Luoli was shocked. She turned her face from the trash can. This turn of events shocked the 3 young men. Because of Luo Luoli's ugly face. Oh my God, where did this high-quality product come from? Just looking at her makes me lose my appetite. As the young man beside her spoke, he spat to the side with a disgusted expression. She is indeed ugly, but her body is not bad. Little girl, how old are you? Luo Luoli saw that they did not look like good people, so she turned to leave. However, her path was blocked. Don't go. You haven't answered my question. Chapter 376. Didn't you just say that I'm ugly? Why don't you let me go? Luo Luoli asked one of them. But my brother is interested in you. I have to help him. The man said hooliganly. Luo Luoli knew very well what this person meant by help. But what should she do? With 3 people surrounding her, would she be able to escape? Police! Luo Luoli turned her eyes and pointed to the front. When the 3 people looked over, Luo Luoli ran away. The 3 people realized that she was lying to them. When they came back to their senses, they saw Luo Luoli running away and chased after her. How dare you lie to us? Chase after her. Luo Luoli heard the footsteps behind her and was scared out of her wits. She ran with all her might. She felt that her whole chest was beating in panic. But no matter how fast she ran, she couldn't outrun 3 adult men. Soon, the road ahead was blocked. Run. Why aren't you running? You better let me go, or else. Luo Luoli wanted to threaten them. Or else what? The young men smiled wretchedly, as if they didn't care at all. Or else I'll call the police. This was a society ruled by law. Luo Luoli still had some hope in her heart. She hoped that these people would be scared away. But not only did they not scare them, she even made them laugh. You say call the police now. When you feel better later, you'll beg us to F***CK you. Luo Luoli listened to their filthy words, and her face changed. She was disgusted. Just when she was helpless and didn't know what to do, those people directly went up to her and grabbed her. Let's go, little girl. Big brother will make you happy. Let go. Luo Luoli struggled, but she couldn't break free from them. When she saw a man and a woman passing by, she screamed for help. Help me, help me. Not only did the man and woman not save her, but they also left quickly. Luo Luoli's heart turned cold. Why didn't they help her? Luo Luoli was dragged into a small alley with no one coming and going. There was a dustbin not far away, and there was a sour smell coming from it. But no matter what, nothing could compare to the fear in Luo Luoli's heart. She fell to the ground and looked at the young man who was taking off his pants as he approached her. He moved back in fright. She didn't understand why she was targeted even though her face was so ugly. That's right, the young man from before said that her figure was not bad. So, she shouldn't be dressed like this, right? She had always dressed like this when she was with Gu Linshan, and nothing had happened. Now that I've left, it's like this? She didn't want it. When a man's evil claws reached over, Luo Luoli was so scared that she closed her eyes and screamed, "Ah!" Just as she screamed, she heard another scream that was even more miserable than hers. It wasn't just one sound, but several. It seemed to be those young men. Moreover, her body did not feel like it was being touched. She wondered what was going on. Luo Luoli opened her eyes nervously. He saw 3 young men lying on the ground, vomiting blood and groaning in pain. Then he saw 2 long legs in front of him. They were straight and strong. Luo Luoli was stunned. She looked up suddenly and saw Gu Linshan's cold face. He was looking down at her from above. Luo Luoli looked at him in disbelief. Little uncle? That's not right. Why was her little uncle here? This wasn't Dee's city. They had left Dee's city in the afternoon. Why was her little uncle here? Luo Luoli wondered if she was dreaming. However, she looked at the 3 miserable young men on the ground. Weren't they her little uncle's vicious methods? How long are you going to sit on the ground? Do you want me to carry you up? Gu Linshan's voice was even colder than the weather. Luo Luoli came back to her senses. Her face was stiff. She got up from the ground. She paused for a moment, then turned and ran. Gu Linshan's face darkened. He was in a bad mood after searching for the person for the whole day. Luo Luoli didn't admit her mistake. Instead, she wanted to run. He rushed forward and grabbed Luo Luoli by the collar, as if he was holding a chicken. Luo Luoli couldn't run away. You're not running anymore. I can't run away with you holding me, Luo Luoli retorted. Gu Linshan threw Luo Luoli into the car with an ugly expression. Luo Luoli lost her balance. Her little mouth almost made intimate contact with the seat. People used to say that men didn't hit women. However, after what happened at school last time, Luo Luoli realized that this saying was wrong. Her little uncle hit a girl like he was hitting a man. He didn't show any mercy at all. It was too scary. He wouldn't hit her like that one day, right? Therefore, when Gu Linshan got into the car, she shrank by the door. She looked at Gu Linshan's gloomy face and asked, "Little uncle, you're not going to hit me, are you?" "Yes." The car drove out steadily. Gu Linshan looked at her expressionlessly. "Why don't you go home?" Luo Luoli pursed her lips and didn't speak. "Didn't you hear what I said?" Gu Linshan frowned. "Didn't I tell you a long time ago? I don't want to go back." "Why?" "There's no reason. I just don't want to go back." Luo Luoli turned her face away and looked at the night scenery outside the car window. Gu Linshan ran his fingers through his neat hair in annoyance. He had never been so irritable before. She was so willful not to go home. She would rather wander outside. If he hadn't arrived in time, he didn't dare to think about what would have happened next. Thinking of this, Gu Linshan's face darkened. "Little uncle, don't worry. Even if I don't go back, I won't trouble you." Luo Luoli saw Gu Linshan's cold face and didn't speak, so she carefully assured him. Gu Linshan looked at Luo Luoli sternly. Luo Luoli immediately turned her face away. "I'll send you back." Luo Luoli was stunned and then panicked. "I don't want to go back." "It's not up to you." Luo Luoli was frightened by Gu Linshan. Her face turned pale. Gu Linshan narrowed his eyes and watched Luo Luoli's reaction. He was just sending her home. Why was she so frightened? He wanted to know what would happen if he sent Luo Luoli back. Luo Luoli didn't look at Gu Linshan. She just stared blankly out of the car window. She wasn't familiar with this route, but she knew that it was because they hadn't reached her city yet. If they reached her city, would he really send her home? Luo Luoli felt her whole body stiffen. Her 2 hands kept pinching the edge of the seat. She wanted to dig out a piece of the leather. The car came to a stop very quickly. Luo Luoli looked out of the car window. It seemed like they hadn't left the city yet. It had only been 10 minutes. Chapter 377. Luo Luoli felt a little itchy. However, she managed to hold it in. After all, her youngest uncle was helping her disinfect the wound out of goodwill. She could not show any signs of rejection. Gu Linshan naturally felt it, and his heart skipped a beat. He did not show it on his face, but his eyes were dark. "Youngest uncle, are you done?" Luo Luoli could not help but ask. She felt that she could not hold it in any longer. Gu Linshan raised his sharp eyes and looked at Luo Luoli. Her eyes were already overflowing with a thin layer of mist. Gu Linshan let go of her hand. Luo Luoli heaved a sigh of relief. However, after disinfecting her wound with the disinfectant towel, Gu Linshan still had to apply medicine on her wound. It hurts." Luo Luoli felt as if she had experienced 2 extremes of ice and fire. One moment it was itchy, and the next moment it hurt. Youngest uncle, please be gentler. Her voice was soft and timid. Gu Linshin felt his heart clench. His expression turned ugly. Shut up. Luo Loli immediately bit her lower lip with her teeth. She knew it in her heart. She had been like this every time she applied medicine. Her youngest uncle's expression had always been the same. She did not want to provoke her youngest uncle like this, but she could not help but feel the pain. Didn't you hear the doctor say that I have to apply force every time? Gu Linshin asked coldly. Of course, Luo Loli had heard it. However, hearing it was one thing, but the pain was real. Looking at her youngest uncle's unfriendly expression, Luo Loli could only endure it. When he applied medicine on her wound again, she would either grit her teeth or take a deep breath. No matter what, her youngest uncle's expression was extremely ugly after applying the medicine. It was hard to understand his temper. Luo Loli thought that her youngest uncle was unwilling to apply medicine on her wound. After she tucked her feet under the blanket, she said, "Youngest uncle, I can apply medicine on my own from now on. It won't hurt if you do it on your own, right?" Luo Loli did not understand what he meant. However, it did not seem to be wrong. Just as she was about to nod her head, Gu Linshin's voice immediately deepened. "What's the point of not hurting?" Luo Loli did not say anything. She timidly looked at her youngest uncle's ugly expression. Then, her youngest uncle turned around and walked out. Luo Loli pouted. She felt that her youngest uncle's temper was unusually hard to deal with. She just did not want her youngest uncle to put in the effort of applying medicine. She was just being kind. When it was almost time for dinner, the phone beside her rang. Luo Loli took the phone and looked at the caller ID. She picked up the call. "Mom, I'm already home, but your uncle isn't back yet. He didn't answer my calls. Where do you think he went?" Luo Meiwan asked. Luo Loli did not want to talk about anything related to Chun Shueji. However, since Luo Meiwan was so nervous, she could only comfort her mother first. "Did he go somewhere else?" "Don't worry, he won't go anywhere. That's his home. Where else can he go if not home?" Luo Loli said nonchalantly. "All right then, I'll wait a little longer." "Really? He came back on his own and made me rush home alone. When I got home, my family wasn't there. I really can't stand him. It's okay, just rest well. Don't get out of bed if there's nothing important. Okay?" "I know. Also, try not to cause trouble for your little uncle if you can." "I know." If she said that, her mother wouldn't feel so guilty, right? After hanging up the phone, Luo Loli was a little dazed. Perhaps the Gu family didn't like her mother, but in her heart, her mother was the most important. No one could compare to her. It was also because of this that she chose not to make a sound despite being humiliated so greatly. Luo Loli hoped that her mother could have a better and happier life after marrying a man like that. However, thinking back, Chun Shuejing didn't go back. Where did he go? Luo Loli didn't doubt her little uncle's words at all. However, after dinner, Luo Meiwan called again and said that Chun Shuejing still hadn't come back. Luo Loli didn't care whether Chun Shuejing came back or not. She was more concerned about how anxious her mother would be when she was home alone. Therefore, she wanted to ask her little uncle when he came to the room. However, after waiting for a long time, a servant came in. The servant came in and asked, "Miss, do you need anything else?" "No, I don't. Is my little uncle home?" "Yes, Mr. Gu is here." "Then can you help me call little uncle? I need to talk to him." "Yes." Not long after the servant left, Gu Linshin came in. He had a cold expression on his face. Why did he feel like he could be summoned at his beck and call? "What is it?" "Little uncle, you said that the man went home alone, but my mother called to tell me that he hasn't come home yet. Are you that worried?" Gu Linshin asked coldly. The whole room turned cold. "Of course not. I'm worried about my mother." Luo Loli didn't know what her little uncle was upset about. "What are you worried about?" "If he can't go home, he might be killed on the way," Gu Linshin said casually. Luo Loli was shocked by her little uncle's cruel words. "Sleep early." Gu Linshin took Luo Loli's phone away and left the room. Luo Loli wanted to ask why he took her phone when it was hers. However, the words were stuck in her throat, and she didn't say them until her little uncle left the room. She still didn't dare to, When Luo Loli woke up in the morning, she finished her breakfast. Just as she was about to reach for her phone, she realized that it wasn't there. Feeling bored, she leaned against the headboard. There was no television in the bedroom. Gu Linshan walked in and saw that Luo Loli's eyes were darting around. She looked very bored. Expressionlessly, he threw the phone at her. "Thank you, little uncle." Luo Loli took the phone. She felt that life would be very lonely without a phone. "Chun Shiwejing is dead," Gu Linshan suddenly said. Luo Loli was stunned. She raised her head and looked at Gu Linshan in confusion. "What?" "He was killed on the way home. His body has been found." Luo Loli stood there in a daze for a long time. "He was really dead?" "Little uncle, why are you so amazing? You said he was killed on the way home, and he really was killed." Luo Loli couldn't digest the information. That was the end of that disgusting man. Isn't it better that he's dead? Chapter 378. However, at this moment, Gu Linshan appeared in the bedroom and looked at her darkly. "Try to get out of bed." "Huh?" Luo Luoli was confused. She only understood her uncle's intention when she saw her injured ankle. He was a little fierce. "Uncle, why am I here?" Luo Luoli asked after she came back to her senses. "If you don't like it, I can send you back now," Gu Linshan said indifferently. "No." Luo Luoli hurriedly rejected him. She thought of something and asked again, "But uncle, you don't like me living here, right?" "I don't have to live here. Uncle, I'll live on campus. Most of the students in the school live in the school. If you say another word, you can go back." Gu Linshan's expression was frighteningly cold. Luo Luoli shrank her neck. She muttered in her heart. Why did her uncle change his expression so suddenly? Did she say something wrong? She didn't seem to have said anything. Wasn't it better for her uncle to live on campus? "Bring it in," Gu Linshan ordered. Luo Luoli looked up and saw breakfast being brought in. The servant placed the small dining table on the bed in front of her. This kind of service made Luo Luoli a little uncomfortable. She had never been treated like this before. She looked at Gu Linshan. She wanted to say that there was no need for this and that she could go downstairs to eat breakfast. However, when she met Gu Linshan's deep and cold eyes, Luo Luoli swallowed her words. She didn't dare to speak. She picked up her spoon and ate her breakfast obediently. Gu Linshan saw that she was well-behaved and turned to leave. As Luo Luoli ate, a smile appeared on her face. Actually, her uncle wasn't that bad. Otherwise, he wouldn't have let her live here, right? After finishing her breakfast, Luo Luoli sat on the bed in a daze. After thinking for a while, she took out her phone and called Luo Meiwan. After dialing the number, the call was quickly connected. "Mom, Loli, where are you?" Luo Meiwan's anxious voice sounded. "I'm with little uncle," Luo Luoli said. Luo Meiwan breathed a sigh of relief. "Loli, how many times have I told you not to bother your uncle? How could you run off again? Besides, it's almost the new year. It's not good for you to be like this." "Little uncle said that I can stay here." "He said that." Luo Meiwan was surprised. She knew Gu Linshan's temper very well. To be honest, she was still a little worried about Luo Luoli following Gu Linshan. "Mom, you don't have to worry about me. I'll be fine here. I'll study hard. If you miss me, or if I miss you, you can come here to see me, can't you?" Luo Luoli said. But if that's the case, Luo Meiwan still wanted to say something, but the phone was snatched away by the anxious Chun Shiwejing. "Loli, listen to your mom. Don't live in someone else's house. That's not." Luo Luoli's face immediately became flustered when she heard that voice. She immediately hung up the phone. "Hello? Loli? Loli?" Chun Shiwejing called out twice. When he looked again, the call was already over. Chun Shiwejing's face was filled with anger. He stuffed the phone back to Luo Meiwan. "Forget it. Don't be angry. If she wants to live here, then let her. I'll bring her back after the new year." Luo Meiwan still wanted to let Luo Luoli have her way. "What are you talking about? Didn't you say that your brother, who isn't related by blood, isn't someone to be trifled with? You're not worried about leaving Loli there? Are you even her biological mother?" Chun Shiwejing got angry when he heard that. "I don't want to either. But look at Loli's reaction. I know you want to get closer to her, but this kind of thing should be done slowly. Luo Meiwan felt that Chun Shiwejing was too agitated. However, it was very precious to find a man who treated her daughter well. She felt more or less gratified. I know we should take it slowly, but if we don't go home and live in someone else's house, what will people think of us? Those who don't know better will think that I can't tolerate her. Then what should we do? Luo Meiwan asked. Chun Shiwejing paced back and forth. When he stopped, he had an idea. The two of us will go and bring her back personally. Luo Meiwan had always listened to her husband, so she didn't think that Chun Shiwejing's words were wrong. She thought that if the two of them went to pick her up, Luo Luoli would be touched and come back. So, the two of them took a car and went over. It was almost noon when they arrived. Gu Linxin was answering a call in the living room. It was about business. He was about to go out and didn't want to eat at home. At this moment, the servant walked over. She stood by the side and waited for Gu Linxin to finish the call. After Gu Linxin finished the call, he threw his phone aside. Young Master Gu, Miss Luo's parents are here. They said they want to bring Miss Luo home. Gu Linxin's dark eyes narrowed slightly as he looked at the servant. His sharp gaze made the servant lower her head. Let them in. Yes. After a while, Chun Shiwejing and Luo Meiwan walked in. Gu Linxin's gaze fell on the middle-aged man beside Luo Meiwan. His invisible gaze made people not dare to act rashly. Chun Shiwejing had never met a man with such a sharp gaze. He gave people a noble aura that couldn't be disobeyed. It was so cold that it was eerie. Linxin, sorry to trouble you. I didn't know that Loli would come back. Shiwejing and I are here to bring her home, Luo Meiwan said. Shiwejing is my current husband. Gu Linxin retracted his gaze. Have a seat. Chun Shiwejing and Luo Meiwan sat down on the sofa. The luxurious life was far away from Luo Meiwan. She didn't expect Gu Linxin's residence to be even more luxurious than the Gu family's. The private space was especially big. From the moment she entered the door, she felt that it was very strict. The servant poured tea for them. Chun Shiwejing said with a smile on his face, I'm really sorry to trouble you. I thought that it's almost the new year, so I can't always trouble you. I'm really sorry. Gu Linxin's face was expressionless. He had an unfathomable aura. Do you think she will go back with you? Gu Linxin asked lightly. Well, Chun Shiwejing was stunned and didn't know what to say. Luo Meiwan also looked very embarrassed. Meiwan and I will persuade her. As long as she comes home, she can have anything she wants, Chun Shiwejing said. In fact, it wasn't easy for the so-called stepfather to go to this extent. Usually, stepfathers wouldn't care about the children brought by their wives. Not only did Chun Shiwejing care, but he also took care of it. Luo Luoli's foot was injured. She leaned against the sofa and played with her phone. Her range of movement was between the bed and the sofa. Anyway, she couldn't jump around. Otherwise, if her uncle saw her, she would be in trouble. Just as she was lazily playing with her phone on the sofa and sunbathing in the sun, the door was pushed open. Chapter 379. Luo Luoli had a smile on her face and was about to call out to them. But when she saw who the two people behind her were, the smile on her face froze. Even though her face was dark yellow, her paleness could be seen clearly. Gu Linxin saw the change in Luo Luoli's face. His dark eyes were deep, but he did not say anything. Loli, why did you run over to your uncle's place again? This is not good. Dad and Mom are here to take you home. Chun Shiwejing was very emotional when he saw Luo Luoli. Luo Luoli gripped the phone in her hand so tightly that her knuckles turned white. She did not even look at Gu Linxin's face. Was he going to send her back again? Luo Luoli did not say a word. She lowered her head and looked down. Luoli, why aren't you saying anything? Come back with Mom? Luo Meiwan did not know how to persuade her. Why was this child so stubborn? If Gu Linxin was her biological uncle, it would have been fine. But this was not the case. Luo Meiwan walked forward and looked at Luo Luoli with distress and anxiety. Luo Luoli's eyes flashed with guilt, but she still did not say anything. That's right, Luoli. Since your mother and I came all the way here to pick you up, why don't you come back with us? Chun Shiwejing also approached Luo Luoli. However, as soon as he got close, Luoli sensitively stood up and wanted to leave. She looked flustered and uneasy, but she forgot about her foot injury and her foot landed on the ground. Gu Linshin, who saw all this, went forward and hugged Luo Luoli, letting her land on his chest steadily. Luo Meiwan and Chun Shiwejing only then noticed Luo Luoli's injured foot. Luoli, what's wrong with your foot? Chun Shiwejing was even more anxious than Luo Meiwan and rushed forward to take a look. Luo Luoli was so frightened that she hugged Gu Linshin tightly and clung to him. It's none of your business. Get out of my way. Even if she knew that her uncle was going to send her away again. But in times of danger, she still sought her uncle's protection. Otherwise, she wouldn't know how to avoid danger. Gu Linshin carried Luo Luoli in one arm. His expression was cold, and his dark eyes were filled with hostility as he looked at them. Since you came all the way here, you should rest here for 2 days. This is how I treat my guests. Luo Luoli looked up at Gu Linshin in disbelief. The jawline that was so close to her was so hard and cold. She did not know why her uncle wanted them to stay here. Shouldn't she leave with them immediately? Or should he stay here for a couple of days before sending her away? What was her little uncle thinking? Didn't he know that she didn't want to go back? How can I accept that? We're here to bring Lolita back, Chun Shiwejing said. However, Gu Linshin did not seem to hear him. She then instructed the servant, "Go and arrange a room." "Please come with me," said the servant. Chun Shiwejing and Luo Meiwan had no choice but to follow the servant. After they left, Luo Luoli's tense nerves finally loosened. She realized that she had been hugging Gu Linshin all this time. She immediately let go and sat down on the sofa. Luo Luoli lowered her head and did not say a word. Gu Linshin could only see her exploding hair. "What's the matter? Aren't you happy that I asked them to stay for 2 days? They shouldn't stay here." Luo Luoli raised her head. Her eyes were filled with tears. Gu Linshin's dark eyes moved slightly. "Little uncle, didn't you say that you wanted me to stay here? Why are you doing this again? I already said that I would stay at school, but you insisted that I stay here. Now that I'm staying here, you're asking them to pick me up. What do you mean by this?" Luo Luoli said agitatedly. Her tears fell. She wiped them away forcefully with the back of her hand. "I said that they could stay here. Did I say that you could leave?" Gu Linshin asked coldly. Luo Luoli was stunned. "Didn't you say that you wanted to send me away? Then why are they here? And they said that they wanted to take me back. Did I agree to that?" Luo Luoli stared blankly. From the moment she entered the room, she did not hear Gu Linshin say that he wanted to send her back. Did he not? Was it not what she thought it was? But there's no need for them to stay here. Luo Luoli still had a lot of opinions in her heart. "It's my freedom to let anyone stay in my place." Gu Linshin finished speaking. He glanced at her coldly and turned to leave the room. Luo Luoli retracted her gaze in a daze. Her little uncle was right. This was his place. She had no right to say who stayed here. But no matter who stayed here, she should not let someone she did not like stay here. She wanted to stay for 2 more days. Luo Luoli did not want to stay under the same roof as them for even a second. Luo Luoli looked at her feet. She thought that was a good thing that she was injured and could not walk around. She did not have to worry about running into them, right? Could she ask her little uncle to stop them from coming to her room? But when she thought of her little uncle's expression just now, she felt that he would not speak up for her. During dinner, Luo Luoli ate in her room. Before going to bed at night, Luo Meiwan went to Luo Luoli's room. Luo Luoli saw that Luo Meiwan was the only one who came in. Her tense body immediately relaxed. "Luoli, this is your room? No wonder you want to stay here. Anyone else would want to stay in such a good room. Just this room is bigger than our house." Luo Meiwan said enviously. "Why are you looking for me?" Luo Luoli still hoped that Luo Meiwan was not here. She was afraid that Chun Shiwejing would follow them. "Although the mansion is big, we don't dare to walk around. Your father is in his room, so I came to see you. Don't you want to see your mother?" Luo Meiwan asked reproachfully. When Luo Loli heard the word father, her expression turned ugly. My father died a long time ago. He is not my father. So disgusting. Okay. Uncle, okay? Luo Meiwan knew that her daughter was in the rebellious period of her youth. She did not say much and went along with her. But how could she know that Luo Luoli was not willing to call Chun Shuejing uncle even if she wanted to? She did not want to look at that kind of person. She was so disgusted that she wanted to vomit. Luoli, do you really not want to go back? Let me tell you, it is not good to keep living here. Even if he is your biological uncle, people will gossip if you keep living here. Not to mention that Gu Linshin is not your biological uncle. If he is not my biological uncle, then why did you tell me before? Also, I will not keep living here. I will move away. I can work outside and support myself. Luoli, Luo Meiwan still wanted to persuade her. Don't say any more. I don't want to hear it. Luo Luoli impatiently interrupted her. Okay, I won't say any more. Tell me, what happened to your foot? Did you sprain it? Chapter 380. Luo Meiwan looked at her daughter. She felt that she was sensible, but at the same time, she couldn't understand her. She stayed in the room with her for a while before leaving. In Luo Luoli's heart, although it wasn't good to do this and would hurt Luo Meijuan's feelings, what else could she do other than alienating her? Absolutely nothing. After a day, other than the servants and Gu Linshin, no one else appeared in Luo Luoli's room. Luo Meiwan didn't appear. But even so, it didn't mean that she could sit back and relax. She calculated in her heart that Chun Shuejing and Luo Meiwan still had one more day to go. What do you mean by that, brother of yours? Can we take Loli back tomorrow? Chun Shuejing asked Luo Meiwan anxiously in the room. I don't know about that. Go and ask. We can't let Loli stay here for 2 days and not let her go back, right? This is someone else's house. It's not good for her to stay here forever. After hearing Chun Shuejing's words, Luo Meijuan's original intention of letting Luo Luoli stay here was shaken again. Coupled with Chun Shuejing's urging, she had no choice but to say, then I'll go and ask. Luo Meiwan walked out of the room and saw Gu Linshin standing in the living room. He was buttoning his cufflinks with his head lowered. Linshin, are you going out? Luo Meiwan asked cautiously. Yes. Do you need something? Gu Linshin looked at her. I just wanted to ask if Loli can come with us when we go back tomorrow. Is that something I can decide? It's up to Loli to decide. If she wants to go back, she can go back. If she doesn't want to go back, she can stay here. There are many rooms here anyway. It doesn't matter if she stays here. I won't be coming back tonight. Tell Loli. Okay. Gu Linshin looked up and saw Chun Shuejing standing not too far away. He glanced at him coldly and turned to leave the mansion. Chun Shuejing stepped forward and asked Luo Meiwan, what does he mean by this? It depends on whether Lolita is willing to go back or not. I don't think Lolita is willing to go back. What should we do if Lolita doesn't want to? Luo Meiwan sighed. Chun Shuejing's expression changed, hiding an abnormal luster. After Luo Loli finished her dinner, she leaned against the headboard and played with her phone. In the end, it was just a game. At this moment, the door opened and someone walked in. Luo Luoli looked up and saw Luo Meiwan and Chun Shuejing. Luo Luoli sat up nervously and defensively. She angrily said to Chun Shuejing, who let you in? Get out. Loli, what are you talking about? How can you speak to your uncle like that? Luo Meiwan felt that Luo Luoli was overreacting. After all, he was an elder, so he couldn't be so rude. It's fine if you come, but why did you ask him to come to my room? Luo Luoli was furious. Lolita, don't be angry. Your mother and I are here to persuade you to go back, because we're going back tomorrow. Chun Shuejing wasn't angry and had a smile on his face. Look at how good your uncle is to you. He's afraid that you'll be alone outside for the new year, so he insisted that I come to take you back. Don't throw a tantrum. I said I'm not going back, so I'm not going back. Luo Luoli was angry. Seeing this, Chun Shuejing pulled Luo Meiwan out. What are you doing? Go to the supermarket and buy something that Lolita likes to eat. Maybe she'll be willing to go back after you coax her. Chun Shuejing said. Then you'll stay here and watch over her? Luo Meiwan didn't suspect anything and asked, "Why would I need to watch over her? It's so safe here. Nothing will happen to Lolita." "That's true." After saying this, Luo Meiwan left. Chun Shiwejing once again returned to the room. Before returning to the room, he deliberately looked around. When he saw that only the servants were around, he flashed into Luo Luoli's room. Luo Luoli was just wondering if they had left when she saw Chun Shiwejing coming alone. Luo Luoli's entire body was filled with fear. "Where's my mother? You made a fuss and didn't want to go back, so your mother went to buy something for you," Chun Shiwejing said with a smile on his face. "Get out," Luo Luoli fiercely ordered. Chun Shiwejing didn't move. He was still smiling and even sat down on the edge of the bed. Luo Luoli was so scared that her whole body shrank back. "Who allowed you to sit on my bed? Get lost." "Lolita, my precious daughter, why are you so agitated? Uncle is here to take you home." The smile on Chun Shiwejing's face became vulgar. "I won't go home with you. Give up." "Lolita, do you think that I won't be able to find you if you hide here? I advise you to obediently go home with me. Look at you. You've made your beautiful little face look like this. Uncle's heart aches to see you like this." Luo Luoli saw Chun Shiwejing and ran away in fear. "However, Lolita, Uncle likes you so much. Uncle can buy you anything you want. Why are you so disobedient?" Tears overflowed from the corners of her eyes. Luo Luoli was so scared that she broke down and cried. Suddenly, a hellish voice came from behind. Chun Shiwejing was stunned. Before he could react, he was dragged down in the next second. "Ah!" Chun Shiwejing fell to the ground. Gu Linshan's foot stepped directly on his neck. The black leather shoes with hard soles were like a sharp weapon placed on Chun Shiwejing's neck. Luo Luoli huddled by the bed. Her eyes were hazy with tears. She was scared out of her wits. "Get under the blanket and cover your head." Gu Linshan looked at her and ordered. Luo Luoli didn't know what to do. At this moment, when she saw Gu Linshan, it was as if she saw her savior. She would do whatever he told her to do. She got under the blanket and covered her head with it. "Spare me. I didn't do anything." Chun Shiwejing was scared out of his wits. He didn't expect Gu Linshan to come back. Didn't he say that he wouldn't come back tonight? Gu Linshan didn't say anything. The black leather shoes on his neck loosened. Chapter 381. Gu Linshan smiled cruelly. He grabbed Chun Shiwejing's neck and pulled it back. Chun Shiwejing only had time to groan before his upper body was pulled to the back. Chun Shiwejing's body was in an abnormal position. His upper body was broken, and his eyes were wide open. It was obvious that Chun Shiwejing was dead. Gu Linshan waved his hand indifferently. The bodyguards walked in and took Chun Shiwejing's body out. There was no trace of blood on the carpet. It was clean, and there was no trace left. Gu Linshan walked to the edge of the bed and sat down. Luo Luoli trembled in fear. She thought it was Chun Shiwejing and trembled under the blanket. "He's gone," Gu Linshan said. Luo Luoli hesitated and pulled the blanket away, revealing her eyes. She looked around and didn't see Chun Shiwejing. Where is he?" Luo Luoli asked in a trembling voice. "He's gone. Did he go back?" Luo Luoli asked again. Gu Linshan didn't answer her question. He only asked if he didn't want to go back because of him. Luo Luoli's expression changed. She lowered her gaze and didn't speak. "You have to speak when I ask you a question." Luo Luoli glanced at Gu Linshan timidly. She lowered her gaze and nodded after a while. "He came to my room when I was sleeping." Gu Linshan's face darkened when he thought of that scene. It was too easy for him to die so easily. He should die in pain. Does your mother know? Gu Linshan was prepared to send Luo Meiwan to hell if she knew. Luo Luoli shook her head. "No. Why didn't you tell your mother? Did you become mute after something like this happened?" Gu Linshan's expression was ugly. Did she know how to protect herself? She didn't even know how long that man had been bullying Luo Luoli. "I didn't want my mom to be sad, so I didn't tell her, but I know how to protect myself." "Your way of protecting yourself is to run outside?" Luo Luoli pursed her lips and remained silent. She had no other choice. He won't appear in front of you again. Gu Linshin looked at her frightened expression and restrained his sinister tone. Uncle, do you mean that I can stay here forever? Luo Luoli asked hopefully. Gu Linshin looked at her clear eyes and said, You don't have to go back in the future. Just stay here. Long live little uncle. Luo Luoli's face immediately lit up, but she accidentally pulled her foot. Gu Linshin's eyes darkened. He took out her injured leg and looked at it. Luo Luoli looked at Gu Linshin's face and felt a little scared. She said, It's okay. I was just scratched. It won't hurt if I don't touch it. He scratched you? Gu Linshin asked. Uh-huh. Luo Luoli nodded. Gu Linshin's face was dark. He stood up without a word and left. Luo Luoli was stunned. Was her little uncle angry again? Even though her little uncle was angry, she was still very grateful that he had chased Gu Linshin away. Otherwise, Chun Shiwejing would have been in a terrible situation. Of course, Luo Luoli didn't know that Gu Linshin had already dealt with Chun Shiwejing. She thought that he had just left. Fortunately, her little uncle said that she could stay here in the future. That meant she didn't have to go back. Gu Linshin went downstairs and saw Luo Meiwan just as he walked down the stairs. She was carrying a big bag of snacks for Luo Luoli. Gu Linshin looked calm as he said, Your husband went back. To him, killing a person was as insignificant as killing a mouse. Luo Meiwan was surprised. He left? Alone? Uh-huh. Then Loli. I'll take care of Loli from now on. Gu Linshin didn't look too good when he looked at Luo Meiwan, who asked her to not even protect her own daughter well and to think that her husband was a good person. A woman like her who didn't have the right to be a parent. If it weren't for the fact that she really cared about Luo Luoli, he wouldn't even look her in the eye. Will that be too much trouble for you? Luo Meiwan asked. You're considered a member of the Gu family. Loli is my niece. There's no trouble with me. Gu Linshin said casually. I'm not considered a member of the Gu family. Hearing you say that, I only feel ashamed. I'm sorry, Dad. Luo Meiwan felt that she had lost her composure and immediately recovered her emotions. Since she insists on staying here, then I won't take her back. Shiwejing has left, so I won't stay here either. I'll give Loli something and let her know. Luo Meiwan entered the room and put the food aside. He sat on the edge of the bed and touched Luo Luoli's little hand. Are you sure you want to stay here? I'm sure. Sometimes I wonder if I did something wrong for you to be so rebellious. If I did, I want to change. No, you didn't do anything wrong. It's my own problem. Even at this time, Luo Luoli still didn't want to tell her about what Chun Shiwejing had done to her. Mom, is that man really good to you? Let's live. I used to chase after love, but it didn't end well in the end. Now that I've settled down, I don't want to think about anything else. Then I'll watch you grow up and wait for you to get married and have children. I have no other regrets. Luo Meiwan said, Mom, do you want to go back to the Gu family? If you want to go back, I can think of a way. Luo Luoli thought that after returning to the Gu family, her mother wouldn't need to follow that kind of man. Luo Meiwan's face changed immediately. Don't ever think about that. Why? Luo Luoli asked in confusion. I was just an adopted daughter at that time, and I did such a shameful thing to the Gu family. I don't have the face to go back. Just stay here with your uncle and don't care about the Gu family. Do you understand? Luo Luoli saw Luo Meiwan's serious expression and didn't say anything more. She nodded in agreement, but she didn't think so in her heart. She couldn't let her mother spend the rest of her life with that kind of disgusting man. After Luo Meiwan left, Luo Luoli felt a little sad, but she also felt at ease because she could stay. She thought that what she did was for the good of everyone. Luo Luoli, who was in a daze, felt the aura of someone walking in. She came back to her senses and saw Gu Linshin, who was close to the bed. Gu Linshin sat down on the edge of the bed, pulled out Luo Luoli's feet, and wiped Luo Luoli's ankles with a square towel in his hand. Luo Luoli's nose twitched. Wasn't this the smell of disinfectant? Chapter 382. Luo Luoli felt a little itchy, but she still held it in. After all, her uncle was kind enough to disinfect her. She couldn't show any signs of repulsion. Gu Linshan naturally felt it, and his heart skipped a beat. He didn't show any expression on his face, but his eyes were very dark. "Uncle, are you done?" Luo Luoli couldn't help but ask. She felt that she couldn't hold it in any longer. Gu Linshan raised his sharp eyes and looked at Luo Luoli. A thin layer of mist had already formed in her eyes. Gu Linshan let go of her hand. Luo Luoli breathed a sigh of relief. However, after disinfecting her with a disinfectant towel, Gu Linshan still had to apply medicine on her. It hurts." Luo Luoli felt as if she had experienced ice and fire in a while. One moment it was itchy, the next it was painful. "Little uncle, be gentler," her soft and timid voice sounded. Gu Linshan felt his heart tighten. His expression immediately turned ugly. "Shut up." Luo Luoli immediately bit her lip with her teeth. She knew in her heart. She was like this every time he applied medicine. And her uncle's expression had always been ugly. She didn't want to provoke her uncle like this, but she couldn't help being in pain. "Didn't you hear the doctor say that you have to use force every time you apply medicine?" Gu Linshan asked with a cold gaze. Luo Luoli naturally heard it. But hearing was one thing, but the pain was real. Looking at her uncle's unfriendly gaze, Luo Luoli could only endure it. When he applied medicine for her again, he either gritted his teeth or took deep breaths. Anyway, no matter what, after applying medicine, her uncle's expression was especially ugly. She felt that his temper was very unpredictable. Luo Luoli thought that her uncle was unwilling to apply medicine for her. After tucking her feet under the blanket, she said, "Uncle, I can apply medicine myself in the future. It won't hurt if you do it yourself, right?" Luo Luoli did not understand. However, it seemed that there was nothing wrong with it. Just as she was about to nod, Gu Linshan's voice immediately deepened. "What's the point of not feeling pain?" Loli Luo didn't say anything. She looked timidly at her uncle's ugly expression. Then, her uncle turned around and left. Luo Luoli pouted. She felt that her little uncle's temper was really hard to deal with. She didn't want little uncle to put in the effort to apply the ointment. She was just being kind. When it was almost time for dinner, the phone beside him rang. Luo Luoli picked up the phone. When she saw the caller ID, she answered the call. "Mom, I'm already home, but your uncle hasn't come back yet. He didn't answer his phone. Where do you think he went?" Luo Meiwan asked. Luo Luoli didn't want to talk about anything related to Chun Shuejing. However, since Luo Meiwan was so nervous, she could only comfort her mother first. "Did he go somewhere else?" "Don't worry. He won't go anywhere. This is his home." "Where else can he go?" Luo Luoli said carelessly. "Okay then. I'll wait a little longer." "Seriously, he came back by himself and made me rush home alone. When I got home, my family wasn't there. I really can't stand him. It's okay. Have a good rest. Don't get out of bed if there's nothing important. Okay?" "Okay. Also, try not to cause trouble for your little uncle if you can." "I know. That way, her mother wouldn't feel so guilty in her heart, right?" After hanging up the phone, Luo Luoli was a little dazed. Maybe the Gu family didn't like her mother, but in her heart, her mother was the most important. No one could compare to her. It was also because of this that she chose to remain silent after suffering such a great humiliation. After marrying such a man, Luo Luoli hoped that her mother could have a better life. However, when she thought about it, where did Chun Shuejing go? Luo Luoli didn't doubt her little uncle's words. However, after dinner, Luo Meiwan called again and said that Chun Shuejing still hadn't come back. Luo Luoli didn't care whether Chun Shuejing came home or not. She cared more about her mother's anxiety when she was alone at home. Therefore, she wanted to ask her little uncle when he came to the room. However, after waiting for a long time, a servant came in. The servant came in and asked, "Miss, do you need anything else?" "No." "Is my little uncle at home?" "Young Master Gu is here." "Then can you help me call little uncle? I have something to ask him." "Okay." Not long after the servant left, Gu Linshan came in. His face was cold. Why did he feel that he was at her beck and call? "What's the matter?" "Little uncle, you said that the man went home alone, but my mother called and said that he hasn't come home yet. Are you that worried?" Gu Linshin asked coldly. The whole room turned cold. Of course not. I'm worried about my mother. Luo didn't know why her little uncle was unhappy. What are you worried about? If she can't go home, she might be killed on the way, Gu Linshin said casually. Luo Luoli was shocked by her little uncle's cruel words. Sleep early. Gu Linshin took Luo Luoli's phone and left the room. Luo Luoli wanted to say that the phone was hers, and why did he take it? However, the words were stuck in her throat, and she didn't say it until her little uncle left. She didn't dare to. When she woke up in the morning, Luo Luoli finished her breakfast. She was about to reach for her phone when she realized that it wasn't there. She leaned against the headboard in boredom. There was no television in the bedroom. Gu Linshin walked in and saw Luo Luoli rolling her eyes in boredom. He threw the phone to her expressionlessly. Thank you, little uncle. Luo Luoli took the phone in her hand. She felt that life would be very lonely without her phone. Chun Xuejing is dead, Gu Linshin suddenly said. Luo Luoli was stunned. She looked up at Gu Linshin with a blank face. What? He was killed on the way home. His body has been found. Loli Luo stood there in a daze for a long time, unable to react. He was really dead? Little uncle, why are you so amazing? You said that he was killed on the way home, and he really was killed. Luo Luoli couldn't digest the news. That kind of disgusting man actually had such an ending. Isn't it better that he's dead? Chapter 383. Got it. I've told her that she'll move here once things are settled. Even though Gu Linshin knew that Luo Meiwan would be upset, he could not let that kind of man stay. Move here? But my mom, she doesn't have a house here. Where's she staying? Luo Luoli asked. I'll make the arrangements for her. You don't have to worry about it. Gu Linshin's expression was indifferent. Won't this be too troublesome for you, little uncle? Gu Linshin's expression turned ferocious when he heard this. If you know it's troublesome, you should have stayed away from me from the start. Gu Linshin turned and left with a gloomy face. Luo Luoli felt a little guilty. It was not the first time she had troubled her little uncle. However, when she thought about the dead Chun Xuejing, it still felt like a dream. She asked herself, was Chun Xuejing, who did those disgusting things to her, really dead? Did that mean that she would not have to be afraid of anything in the future? But when she was with her mother, she would have nothing to worry about. At the Tang residence, Tang Bao sat by the window of his room on the second floor. He rested his chin on the windowsill and breathed in the fresh air outside. He looked at the withered branches and occasionally saw a few sparrows flying by. He felt that he could not do anything without going to the office. His gaze fell on the pink diamond on her ring finger. His heart ached, and he felt a little suffocated. She and Di Haoyan had both become like this. The pink diamond was still so eye-catching. His heart ached even more as he looked at it. The more Tang Bao looked at it, the more he could not stand it. He reached out and wanted to pull it off. He pulled it forcefully. His fingers hurt, but it did not budge. It was the same as before. What was going on? Would she have to wear it for the rest of her life? But Di Haoyan was so heartless to her. Why would she still wear it? It was like a joke. Just as she was thinking of a way to pull the pink diamond off, the phone on the bedside table rang. Tang Bao stood up and answered the call. Who is this? Hey, can you change your phone? It's that person who calls you every time. Wan Malay's unhappy voice came through the phone. Don't you need money to change your phone? Tang Bao answered the phone while sitting by the window again. You can keep digging. Wan Malay changed the topic. By the way, my parents have been talking about you. They want to know when you'll come to my house to play. I'll go visit them during the new year. Tang Bao, are you still in the Tang family? The young master, didn't he come looking for you? Wan Malay didn't want Tang Bao to be sad. However, dragging things on like this was not a solution. It made him feel very uncomfortable. Why is he looking for me? With Lan Wanru by your side, will you still remember me? Tang Bao suppressed the bitterness in his heart and asked sarcastically, how about this? Since you're alone now, why don't you come to my house for the new year? Wan Malay didn't know what to say. However, it was too sad to let Tang Bao celebrate the new year alone. No, I'll accompany my father. Tang Bao refused. Juan Malay wanted to say that his father was celebrating the new year there. Why would he accompany him? However, she was afraid that Tang Bao would be unhappy, so she didn't continue this topic. After the call ended, Tang Bao looked at the diamond ring on her ring finger again. Then she went out. Tang Bao wandered to the street where she ran away from her marriage and wanted to sell diamond rings. He wanted to find a shop that cheated her. However, he couldn't find it. However, the old man who was shining shoes on the street looked a little familiar. Tang Bao leaned closer and looked at the haggard old man. He said, "Are you twins with that pawn shop owner? The two of you look alike." "It's you?" The old man who was shining shoes couldn't believe it. Tang Bao couldn't believe it even more. "You know me?" "Of course I know you." The depraved pawn shop owner had a deep impression of that priceless pink diamond. When he looked at Tang Bao's finger again, the diamond ring was still on it. When he looked at it again, it almost blinded his eyes. At that time, when those people came over and took away his diamond ring, he knew that he had offended someone. Someone who could wear such an expensive diamond ring was definitely not an ordinary person. He could only blame himself for being blind and blinded by greed. That was why he had harmed himself. Tang Bao understood. "You're the pawn shop owner? Why are you shining shoes? Changing your profession? What can I change? I offended you guys, and I can't survive anymore. If I don't shine shoes, I won't even be able to eat," the depraved pawn shop owner said dejectedly. Tang Bao thought to himself, "You've offended the king of D City. Of course, you won't be able to survive. With D Haotian's ruthlessness, it's already good enough that you have a student who shines shoes for you." Tang Bao abandoned his previous experience of being cheated by the pawn shop owner. He squatted down, stretched out his slender white finger, and asked, "Back then you said that this was worthless and you cheated me. Now you know how much it's worth, right?" The depraved pawn shop owner looked a little guilty and stammered, "You're not the only one I cheated." Tang Bao shook his head. "You deserve to shine shoes. Then don't you think there's something strange about this ring of mine?" Tang Bao's purpose in striking up a conversation with him was not to settle scores. "Can you not show off your ring in front of me? I know it's worth a lot. Even if you pawn it here, I don't have that much money. Just leave." The depraved pawn shop owner felt as if his heart had been stabbed. The corner of Tang Bao's mouth twitched. What did she show off? Was he blind? Was this what she called showing off? "I can't take off my ring. If you help me take it off, I'll give you 50,000. Tang Bao did not care about his attitude and said, yes, that 50,000 was earned from the pawn shop owner at that time. The depraved pawn shop owner was so angry that he glared at him. "Are you playing with me? I'm doing business. Can you stop fooling around? I'm telling you the truth. I really can't take it off." Tang Bao broke down and pulled at the pawn shop owner, but the ring just could not be taken off. "Look, you can't take it off, right?" The depraved pawn shop owner saw it with his own eyes. "It seemed like he cannot take it off. Is that true? So, help me take it off. I'll give you 50,000. "Really, 50,000? You won't turn your back on me after I take it off for you, right?" For the depraved pawn shop owner, forget 50,000. Even 50,000 was the money he needed to shine 50 pairs of shoes. Not to mention 50,000. In the past, 50,000 was already enough for him. Now that he was depraved, 50,000 was an astronomical figure. However, the depraved pawn shop owner immediately thought of something and said, "That 50,000 was originally mine." Oh, he realized. If I don't give it to you, are you going to snatch it from me?" "No." The depraved pawn shop owner shook his head. "Then take it off for me. I'll give you the money after you take it." The depraved pawn shop owner could only look at the ring. As he looked at it, his attention was attracted by the pink diamond on the ring. His eyes were filled with love and greed. Chapter 384. The depraved pawn shop owner retracted his greedy gaze and said, "This is an occupational hazard. You can't blame me." After saying that, he looked at it seriously this time. "There seems to be something stuck in your ring. What is it?" "That's right. As long as you pull it out, the ring will tighten. You have to use tools," the depraved pawn shop owner said. "What tools? Do you have any here?" "I'm a shoe shine now. What tools can I have?" "The tools are all at home." Then I'll go back with you to get the tools now. You could just open it for me. The depraved pawn shop owner wouldn't have bothered with her if it weren't for the $50,000. Anyway, his house was not far from here. He stood up, packed up his stall, and brought Tang Bao home. When he reached home, the depraved pawn shop owner found the tools he had packed up and helped her remove the ring. As he worked, he said, "You're quite bold. Aren't you afraid that I'll harm you and snatch the ring back? You can harm me. After you harm me, your life won't be easy," Tang Bao said leisurely. The depraved pawnshop owner was so scared that his hands trembled. He just wanted to scare her. Why did she take it so seriously? "If I help you remove the ring, can you let me continue to run the pawn shop?" The depraved pawnshop owner wanted to negotiate with her. "No. Why? Who asked you to cheat so many people? Serves you right." The depraved pawnshop owner really didn't want to help her, but in the end, he gave in for the $50,000. With the help of the small tools, the ring slowly came off her finger. After it came off, Tang Bao was in a daze. It was as if a sense of loss filled her chest. She thought that this was a habit. It had become a part of her finger. If she took it off now, she would definitely feel uncomfortable for a while. It's really high-tech. If you take it off yourself, you won't be able to take it off in this lifetime. The depraved pawnshop owner turned the ring over and over in his hand. He just couldn't bear to give it to Tang Bao. When Tang Bao saw this, she immediately snatched it over. She said, "You can only look at things that don't belong to you. Otherwise, I won't even clean shoes for you in the future." That was too cruel. This was forcing him to his death. Tang Bao gave a depraved pawnshop owner 50,000 yuan and left. In fact, Tang Bao didn't want to stay alone in the Tang family either. It would only make him more and more depressed. She knew that she would be the only one celebrating the new year this year. She could go to Wan Malay's house, but wouldn't it be too pitiful for a married person to go to someone else's house for the new year? Therefore, she decided to travel for the new year. She would come back after the new year. At the very least, he wouldn't feel so bad in his heart, right? After returning home, he held the ring and looked at it for a long time. He already knew how precious the ring was. She did not expect that Di Haoyan would resort to such means to prevent her from getting it. It was truly unimaginable. However, could Di Haoyan, who was with Lan Wanru at this moment, still remember what he had done? Did she know that he was the one who tampered with the ring? He had probably forgotten about it long ago. Tang Bao put the ring into the drawer and closed it. Then he packed his luggage. Where to? Forget it. He would go wherever he went. Anyway, he had never traveled in his life. He would just take it as going out to see the world. Moreover, there were many people traveling for the new year now, so he wouldn't be lonely. Tang Bao went downstairs and went into the dining room to eat. He glanced at the servant. He didn't say anything. He finished his meal as usual. After eating, Tang Bao stood up and was about to leave the dining room when he said to the servant, "I want to drink milk in the afternoon. Why don't you buy it for me later?" "Okay." The servant was called by Di Haoyan. If there was anything wrong with her, Di Haoyan would definitely know. It was normal for him to ask the servant to buy things, so there was nothing to be suspicious about. After the servant left, Tang Bao lit incense for Tang Qishan. "Dad, I wanted to accompany you, but I thought that you must be living with my mother and don't need a third will like me. So, I'm going to travel for the new year. Isn't your daughter very sensible?" Tang Bao lit the incense and inserted it into the incense burner. Then, he anxiously looked at the black and white photo of Tang Qishan. "Dad, if you were still here, would you quarrel with me again?" Tang Bao smiled, his eyes hot. "I'll be back after the new year. I'll come to see you then." Tang Bao stood in front of the photo of Tang Qishan for almost half an hour before he went upstairs to take his luggage and left the Tang family's villa. Sitting in the taxi, Tang Bao looked at the travel guide he made. He even looked at the map. However, the map was like scribbles in her eyes. There was no order, and she couldn't understand it all. After a long time, he only understood half of it. The taxi followed the route she provided and got on the bus. Her first stop was to go to a tourist area with mountains and rivers. The introduction was very good. Staying in a hotel with beautiful scenery, you could see the clear river when you opened the window. It was so quiet that it made people yearn for it. Tang Bao yearned for it very much. He didn't feel as sad as when he left. There were quite a lot of people on the bus, and there were different routes. This was because there were people getting on and off the bus halfway. Tang Bao sat by the window and wanted to call Wan Malay. This time, he wouldn't make a mistake. Because the last call she received was from Wan Malay, she just had to call back. What's wrong? Let me tell you something. What is it? Is it a good thing or a bad thing? Wan Malay asked nervously. It's a good thing. Wan Malay heaved a sigh of relief and then asked excitedly, You and young Master D made up? What are you thinking about? Tang Bao looked at the scenery outside the window. He didn't want to mention Di Hao Yin, this heartless man, at such a time. What's the good thing? I'm going on a trip. What? When are you going? I'm already on my way. Wan Malay was so shocked that she almost fell off the bed. Why are you going on a trip all of a sudden? You're going alone? Yes, I'm going on a trip for the new year. Tang Bao. Wan Malay felt depressed. Tang Bao didn't care. What are you doing? Isn't this good? I want to go out and play. And you don't know, right? There are a lot of people traveling for the new year now. Wan Malay wanted to say that other people traveled for the new year with their whole families, but he was alone. Why didn't you tell me? Why should I tell you? The two of us can go together. Forget it. I want to have some peace and quiet. Tang Bao deliberately said this to Wan Malay on the way. She knew how Wan Malay would react, but she had already decided. Wan Malay didn't want her to be sad alone. Tang Bao understood. Chapter 385. It was just a trip. Before the last syllable of the word ma disappeared from her mind, the bus jammed twice like a tape and stopped. Why did we stop? It doesn't seem like anyone wants to get on the bus. Sir, why did we stop? The passengers chattered as they walked away. The driver didn't seem to understand either. I'll go down and take a look. After saying that, he went down. After a while, he came back up and said, The bus broke down. You guys can get off. What? It broke down? Then what should we do? That's right. It's so desolate. Where can we get a bus? I'll make a call and get another bus to pick you up, the driver said as he took out his phone to make a call. Tang Bao sat in her seat and looked at the noisy bus gloomily. Wasn't this too unlucky? It was her first trip, and her bus broke down halfway. If she had known this would happen, she would have gone out and taken the train. After the call, the driver said, The bus can't come. Why don't you guys wait for my bus to be repaired before we go on the road? Then when will your bus be repaired? A passenger asked. I don't know either, the driver said. How unlucky. If there's a problem with your bus, then don't drive it out. How can you leave us on the road? The passenger didn't buy it. The driver also had a headache. How would I know? Aren't I trapped here too? It's useless to argue with me. You're shirking your responsibility. That's right. Why isn't there a bus coming to pick us up? It's obvious that you want to dispose of us casually. Hearing the noise of the passengers, the driver argued, The bus is still working. How can it come? If it wants to come, it should come at night. If you're happy, then continue to wait. If you're not willing to wait, there's a hotel not far ahead. Stay for the night, and a bus will pass by tomorrow. The driver was not very polite with his words, but other than scolding, the passengers had no other choice. The bus was noisy, and Tang Bao didn't want to stay any longer. Moreover, Tang Bao could also tell. The bus couldn't leave for the time being. This, for the time being, was just a conservative statement. Anyway, Tang Bao was on a trip to look around. It wasn't that she was in a hurry. Therefore, she didn't say anything and got out of the car. After getting off the carriage, she looked at the fertile fields on both sides of the road and felt a little confused. Tang Bao gritted her teeth. She did not believe that she could not find her way when she went out alone. Hence, Tang Bao dragged her suitcase and walked forward alone. After walking for half an hour and still not seeing a hotel, Tang Bao wanted to scold the bus driver. What did he mean by not far away? This not far away was too far away. Tang Bao walked for almost an hour before he saw the hotel by the roadside. It was a road hotel. Tang Bao stood outside the door and looked at the relatively clean yard. She thought about the horror movies she had watched. Was it a bad idea to think about horror movies at this time? She really couldn't walk anymore. Moreover, was she supposed to sleep on a mountain in such cold weather? Therefore, Tang Bao shook off the messy and bloody images in his mind and braced himself to walk into the Highway Hotel. When he opened the door, the wind chimes rang clearly. It actually had a calming effect on people's minds. "Hello, is this a room?" The receptionist was a man wearing glasses. He looked very friendly. "Yes, it's better." "What do you mean by better? Is it spacious or well-equipped?" The receptionist asked. "If it's spacious." Sorry, boss, I don't have much money." "It's better if it's spacious," Tang Bao said. Originally, Tang Bao wanted to say that it was spacious and well-equipped. However, after thinking about it, it was best not to show off her wealth outside, lest she was robbed. Tang Bao was surprised by her own wit. "Okay." The receptionist began to book a room for her. After entering the room, it was a little spacious and clean. However, there was no air conditioning, no shower. She didn't know which era the television was from, but the channel was switched on. The so-called spacious room meant that it was not well equipped. After walking around the room, Tang Bao put her suitcase aside. Forget it. She would stay for the night and leave tomorrow. At this moment, her phone rang. Tang Bao took out her phone and answered, "Hello. Where are you?" Di Hao Ian, who was holding back his anger, spoke through the phone. Tang Bao was stunned. She didn't expect it to be Di Hao Ian. Actually, there was no need to be surprised. Di Hao Ian was so controlling. Even if he didn't want her anymore, she wouldn't have so much freedom. If she didn't know this, would she have sneaked away? If she could see the caller ID on the phone screen clearly, she definitely wouldn't have answered his call. "I'm traveling outside." "Who allowed you to travel alone?" Di Hao Ian almost growled. "Why can't I travel? I'm bored at home, so I came out." "Don't worry, I won't run away. I'll go back when I have enough fun." "When will you have enough fun?" "After the new year." "Come back now." Tang Bao was unhappy when she heard that overbearing voice. "Why should I go back now? Don't tell me that I don't have the freedom to go out and have fun. You'd better mind your own business. Don't waste your time on me." After that, Tang Bao hung up the phone. Then, he turned off his phone. It was really baffling. Did Lan Wan make him unhappy? She looked like she was too happy, so she was looking for trouble. Di Hao Ian called Tang Bao again, but the phone was turned off. He was so angry that he punched the car door. The car shook. The driver and he Jew in front didn't dare breathe. The only person who could make Di Hao Ian so angry was Tang Bao. The car stopped at the Tang family's house. Di Hao Ian got out of the car with a cold face. When he saw the trembling servant inside, his eyes were fierce. "Don't you know that she went out? What role do you play here?" "I'm sorry. Young madam said that she wanted milk and asked me to buy it. I went and couldn't see her when I came back." Di Hao Ian suppressed the anger in his heart. Tang Bao was obviously trying to sneak out. He walked to Tang Qishan's memorial tablet. The incense in the incense burner had already burned out. Di Hao Ian turned and went to Tang Bao's room on the second floor. He opened the door. The room was neat and tidy. The bed was still collapsed on the ground. The air in the room seemed to still be filled with Tang Bao's scent. However, it was so cold. The suitcase was no longer there. The clothes were also taken away. Di Hao Ian opened the drawer. His dark eyes narrowed. The pink diamond was lying there quietly. Di Hao Ian took out the pink diamond. His expression was so ugly that it was indescribable. She actually took it out again. What did she want to do? Did she want to leave? Did she want to leave him? Did he agree? Di Hao Ian went down the stairs. He Jew came up. Looking for someone. Just these two words. It was full of hostility and coldness. Chapter 386. Tang Bao felt that she was really suffering. It became especially cold at night. She had been under the blanket for a long time. Her feet were still cold. Tang Bao couldn't take it anymore. She lifted the blanket and got out of bed. She wanted to ask the boss for a hot water bag. Otherwise, a hot water bottle would do as well. Otherwise, how could she sleep tonight? She was here to travel freely, not to suffer. However, just as she was about to turn the corner and walk to the front desk, she saw someone walking in. When she saw that person, Tang Bao immediately squatted down. Why was he Jew here? Di Hao Ian was here? He Jew was here, so Di Hao Ian must not be far away. Tang Bao turned around and ran without thinking. It was too scary. Why'd it have to be like this? Couldn't they let her catch her breath? Tang Bao went back to her room, picked up her things, and threw them out of the window. Then, she jumped out of the window and ran away. Fortunately, this was not the second floor. Otherwise, she would not have been able to escape. "Excuse me, is this person staying here?" Hiju showed the photo in his hand to the front desk. The man at the front desk nodded. "Yes." Hiju's face relaxed. "In the room?" "Yes. She hasn't come out since the room was booked." "Take us there," Hiju said. They arrived at the door. Hiju knocked first. No one answered. Maybe she was asleep. So Hiju knocked harder on the door and continued to knock patiently. However, no one answered. Hiju frowned slightly, then raised his leg and kicked the door open. There was no one inside. Sure enough, she had run away. Tang Bao dragged her suitcase. She ran down the mountain road and saw a bus coming. She rushed up to intercept it. When the bus stopped, she immediately climbed up. After climbing up, she was a little stunned. "Little girl, we told you to go first, but in the end, you still ended up in the same bus as us." One of the passengers laughed at her. Tang Bao did not expect that they were the people on the bus during the day. They had been waiting for the bus all this time. Too awesome. Di Hao Ian stood on the mountain, his figure darker than the night. Looking at the bus driving away on the main road, his eyes were as deep as the eyes of a beast in the night. "Young master," young madam ran away. Hiju ran out and said, "There's a bus in front." Di Hao Ian turned around and got on the bus. It would be a piece of cake for Di Hao Ian's car to catch up with the bus. After the bus was stopped, Di Hao Ian went up to check it out himself. However, when he went up, all he saw were unfamiliar faces. There was no sign of Tang Bao. The people on the bus were scared out of their wits. They didn't even dare to breathe loudly. Di Hao Ian's face was terrifyingly dark. He turned around and got out of the car. Only then did the bus dare to leave. Di Hao Ian looked at the dark night. If it weren't for the car's headlights, everything would have been swallowed by darkness. He was not only angry now, but also worried. Tang Bao must have run here because of him. Since she had just run away and didn't get on the bus, she must be nearby. And other than this road hotel, there was no other place to stay nearby. Tang Bao had her own thoughts, of course. She was supposed to get on the bus, but at the last second, she felt that she couldn't get on the bus. With Di Hao Ian's depth, he would definitely stop the bus. So, she turned around and got out of the bus. Then, she walked up the mountain. Actually, for someone who liked to watch horror movies, she was afraid of the dark, especially in this kind of countryside. So, Tang Bao climbed through the window and entered the road hotel again. She didn't book a room, and she didn't alert the people in the hotel. She hid in the hotel's warehouse. Although it wasn't warm, it was better than being outside, right? That would freeze people to death. Di Haoqian couldn't contact Tang Bao on his phone. The people he sent out were still looking for her. He returned to the road hotel again, but the person he was looking for wasn't inside. The man at the front desk saw this man with an extraordinary aura standing there. He didn't dare to say anything. Not long after, the phone in Di Hao Ian's hand rang. Di Hao Ian picked it up. When he saw the caller ID, his expression suddenly changed. He answered the call anxiously, and his voice was hoarse. "Where are you?" "Di Hao Ian, do you have to force me like this?" Tang Bao asked. "Don't you know that it's not safe for you to go out alone?" Di Hao Ian suppressed his anger and said to her patiently. Tang Bao heard Di Hao Ian's question, and her eyes were hot. There was a thin layer of mist in her eyes. She asked softly, "Do you really care if I'm safe or not?" Di Hao Ian felt suffocated. His breathing was heavy, and he said in a flash, "I do." At this time, he didn't care about the aborted child and betrayal. He only cared about Tang Bao's safety. Tang Bao's answer was, "I don't believe you." Di Hao Ian's face was tense. He tried to calm her down. "Where do you want to go?" "I'll go with you. I'm in a hotel now." "Where are you?" "Di Hao Ian, is this the first day I've known you? If you find me, you definitely won't let me have an easy time." Di Hao Ian thought to himself, "You know me very well. Since you know me, you shouldn't have run out alone. Di Hao Ian, you don't have to look for me. You won't be able to find me anyway. I was on the bus just now, but I hid under the chair and a passenger blocked it for me." Di Hao Ian's expression changed. "You don't have to chase me. By the time you came, I would have changed my route." Di Hao Ian, can't you just leave me alone? If you keep chasing me like this, I'll only want to hide from you. I've already said that I'll go back after the new year. After saying that, she hung up the phone. Di Hao Ian called her again, but her phone was turned off again. Tang Bao continued to hide in her small warehouse. Anyway, she had lied to Di Hao Ian like this. She wouldn't go back with him. Should she go back and continue to watch him and Lan Wanru being lovey-dovey? Or the three of them under the same roof? Di Hao Ian certainly wouldn't listen to Tang Bao. He wouldn't let her stay outside alone. Absolutely not. Even if he had to dig 3 feet into the ground, he would find her. Wan Malay had just gotten out of bed and was about to go grocery shopping with her mother. She didn't know where Tang Bao was now. She called her last night, but she couldn't get through. She was worried the whole night. After all, it was Tang Bao's first time traveling. What if something happened? Also, why wasn't her phone turned on? Therefore, she didn't sleep well the whole night. Her head was groggy. Just as she finished washing up, she heard someone ring the doorbell. Wan Malay walked out of the room. Mom, who's here so early in the morning? Before she could finish her sentence, Wan Malay was shocked when she saw the person who walked in. She stood still at the door of her room. Wan Malay's mother didn't seem to know. She asked, "May I know who you're looking for?" After Di Hao Hian walked in, his sharp black eyes looked around the room, including Wan Malay's parents. His aura was intimidating. Chapter 387. But it's okay. You know them? I know them. More than that. Then you go and greet the guests. We'll be back soon. Wan Malay's parents were honest people. They didn't know the danger. It wasn't easy for Wan Malay to send her parents away. She closed the door and looked at the tall figure standing by the window. She called out carefully, "Young master." When Di Hao Yin turned around, Wan Malay's knees almost gave way and she knelt on the ground. You have a good relationship with Tang Bao. So good that you're willing to give up your life for him? Di Hao Yin asked with uncertainty. If Tang Bao is in trouble, I will. Including your parents? Was that the main point? Although she had seen Di Hao Yin before because of the Tang Bao, it was her first time facing him face to face. She couldn't bear his aura at all. Coupled with what he said, Wan Malay felt her hair stand on end. I confess, that medicine really has nothing to do with me. I didn't give Tang Bao the medicine. I didn't know about it. After Wan Malay said that, she silently felt guilty toward Tang Bao. Tang Bao, I'm sorry. I can give up my life for you, but my parents are innocent. Di Hao Yin's face suddenly darkened. What did you say? What medicine? Wan Malay cursed in her heart. Didn't he come here because of this? My patience is limited. Tell me clearly. Di Hao Yin took 2 steps forward. The aura all over his body seemed to have expanded. It was dark and terrifying. I'll tell you. I didn't give Tang Bao the medicine to abort the child. I didn't give Tang Bao that medicine. Wan Malay said, that's all. Di Hao Yin looked at her maliciously. No, that's all. Wan Malay said. She was terrified. Should he say it or not? She was really in a difficult position. In other words, you don't want your parents' lives anymore, right? Di Hao Yin didn't rush her anymore. Instead, he calmed down. However, the more it was like this, the more terrifying it was. Wan Malay couldn't take it. Tang Bao said that if I told her, she would cut ties with me. As Wan Malay was speaking, she saw Di Hao Yin's violent gaze. She was so frightened that she blurted out, that drug was given to her, by your mother. After Wan Malay finished speaking, he wondered if he would cause any serious consequences. She felt that if this was the era of the Republic of China, she would definitely be the kind of lackey that could be recruited without torture. Di Hao Yin was stunned. His whole body was stiff as he stared at Wan Malay with his black eyes. Beside him, Hiju was also stunned, because it was too unexpected. Your mother gave it to me. Actually, this matter is a little complicated. Back then, your mother didn't like Tang Bao and didn't want her to give birth to a child of the Di family. So, she asked a servant to put birth control pills in the bird's nest soup that Tang Bao ate every day. After taking it for a week, Tang Bao became pregnant. Moreover, the child was already a month old. In other words, The child was already pregnant when the drug was administered. After taking birth control pills for a week, the child definitely couldn't be kept. So, in order to cover up the truth, your mother asked Tang Bao to abort the child without permission. Tang Bao was in the castle at that time. How could it be so easy to abort the child? Your mother gave her the abortion pill. Why didn't she say anything? Di Hao Ian's face was as cold as ice. His words were hoarse from the impact of such a fact. Because Tang Bao said that she didn't want you to hate your mother. She was afraid that one day you would be like her and regret it when you lose your family. Young Master D, Tang Bao cares a lot about her marriage with you. If she was a selfish person, she wouldn't have rather you hate her than tell the truth and make you sad. Di Hao Ian's face was cold and stiff. He left Wan Malay's house without saying a word. When he walked out the door, he lost control and tripped on the threshold. Young Master D, He Ju was startled. Di Hao Ian didn't say anything and walked out. Back at the castle, Di Hao Ian stood in the hall. Suddenly, the entire castle became a few degrees colder. Lian walked forward and said cautiously, Young Master D, during Tang Bao's pregnancy, did any servants leave their jobs? Di Hao Ian's face was expressionless. Yes. One was fired by young Master D, and the other was Zhou Lihua. She said that something happened at home. Zhang Li, who was a few steps away, thought of something and said, at that time, young madam also asked if any servants left their jobs. When Di Hao Ian looked over, she shut her mouth. She felt that she had said too much. After all, young madam had been kicked out by young Master D. Did she ask? Di Hao Ian asked. Zhang Li saw that Di Hao Ian's expression didn't change, so she said, she asked if any servants in the castle had resigned. I replied that Zhou Lihua had resigned. Did she ask anything else? That's all. Zhang Li thought for a while and said. Di Hao Ian stood there without moving, and the others didn't dare to move either. After a long while, Di Hao Ian said, go and find that B*TCH for me. Yes. He Ju turned around and left. Di Hao Ian didn't go anywhere. He just sat on the sofa and waited until Zhou Lihua was brought back. When Zhou Lihua saw the person sitting on the sofa, she was so scared that her face turned pale and she almost couldn't stand. I asked you a question, so you have to answer honestly. Do you understand? Di Hao Ian looked at Zhou Lihua lazily. However, the atmosphere was particularly scary. Yes, you drug young madam? Old madam asked me to do it. She said that no one would know. After I did it, old madam gave me money and then I left. Young Master D, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. Zhou Lihua cried out. Money? Do you like money that much? I'm afraid that you don't have the life to spend it. Di Hao Ian waved his hand as if he was treating trash. Beat her to death. Zhou Lihua was so scared that she forgot to cry. Young Master D, spare me. Old madam asked me to do it. It wasn't me. No matter how much Zhou Lihua begged for mercy, she was still dragged out. Di Hao Ian sat on the sofa. His whole body was filled with a gloomy and sullen aura. No one dared to go near him. At that time, Tang Bao already knew that there was something wrong with the child. She was investigating who drugged her to confirm the truth of the matter. She even went to the doctor to ask about the abortion. He thought that Tang Bao didn't want their child. He didn't even want to think about it. If it wasn't because of Di Junbai, why did Tang Bao abort the child? When he asked her why she wanted to abort the child, she chose to remain silent. Di Hao Ian was angry at her silence. She would rather be hated by him and treated mercilessly by him than say anything. This was the truth. This was the truth. Chapter 388. Zhang Li, who was not far away, looked at Di Hao Ian and was shocked. She couldn't believe what Zhou Lihua said just now. So it wasn't young madam who aborted the child, but old madam? And young madam had been enduring it all by herself? This was too pitiful. At this moment, the phone in the hall rang, which made people feel even more stressed. This seemed to be a good thing, but it didn't seem like it. It made the pressure on his heart even heavier. Lian hesitated for a moment and walked over to answer the phone. This is T. Castle. Who is this? After a moment of silence, Li Yin looked at Di Hao Yin and replied, "Yes, okay." The call was from Yu Song-won. This really wasn't a good time, especially after the hidden truth was exposed. However, he still had to tell Di Hao Yin about the phone call. Therefore, Li Yin walked towards Di Hao Yin and stopped not far away. "Young master, if you have something to say, just say it. Don't hesitate." Di Hao Yin's face was cold. "It's old madam. She wants you to go over for Christmas." Di Hao Yin's dark eyes were so cold that the bottom couldn't be seen. In the extremely oppressive atmosphere, he said, "In the future, just say that I don't have time." After speaking, he stood up and left the castle. Li Yin and everyone present naturally knew what that meant. The young Master Di was furious. When the oppressive atmosphere in the hall dissipated, Zhongli asked Li Yin with joy, "Director, the misunderstanding has been resolved. Young madam didn't intentionally abort the child. Does that mean that young madam can come back?" Li Yin glanced at Zhang Li and didn't say anything. Zhang Li didn't understand. "What do you mean? Can't she come back?" Looking at young master's expression, it seems that he won't blame young madam anymore. "I'm afraid young madam won't be willing to come back," Li Yin said with great insight. Zhang Li thought about it and felt that it made sense. At that time, young Master Di went overboard. "Needless to say, I know how sad young madam is," Zhang Li said gloomily, but then his face relaxed. "But I think the young master is so powerful. Young madam will come back eventually." Li Yin sighed. Yes, he will come back eventually. He still had to call back to the bungalow. Tang Bao felt that he was simply too amazing to be able to slip away under Di Hao Yin's nose, and he was walking further and further away. When she thought about the shocked expression on the receptionist's face when she came out of the warehouse, she wanted to laugh. Tang Bao was really too tired at that time, but he did not care about his expression and did not really want to explain. She didn't steal anything anyway. He left just like that. Presumably, the man at the front desk must have known that she was the person Di Hao Yin was looking for. After all, there was such a big commotion last night. Hiju was also brought to her room by the receptionist. How could he not know? When Tang Bao thought of Di Hao Yin, his expression changed slightly, and his heart sank. Why didn't he let her go on a trip? He sounded like he was very worried about her, but she just didn't believe it. Di Hao Yin cared about Lan Wanru. Perhaps after the new year, the divorce agreement would be in her hands. Why did Tang Bao want to go on a trip alone? Perhaps he also had the consciousness to escape. Although she knew that she would have to go back sooner or later, she did not want to think about that now. When she left the house, she also made up her mind not to think about Di Hao Yin. She was just playing with herself, wasn't she? Why add more to her heart? If something was going to happen eventually, she would not be able to escape. She might as well live a carefree life one day at a time. When Di Junbai returned home, his expression and mood were not too good. He did not even notice the people who walked past him. Li Yuhuai frowned and pulled Di Junbai over. "Didn't you see me? You look distracted. What's wrong? Where's your father?" Di Junbai came back to his senses and saw that it was Li Yuhuai. He relaxed and said, "Dad has a social engagement. He won't be back for dinner tonight." "What's wrong with you? Did something happen?" Li Yuhuai asked. "I'm fine. Do you look fine? Are you still trying to hide it from me? Your father doesn't tell me anything. You don't tell me anything either. Do you think I'm just a decoration in the house? Tell me about it, and let Mom help you." Di Junbai looked a little downcast and worried. Tang Bao went on a trip. "I'm very worried. I'm wondering if I should go and look for her." Tang Bao went on a trip? With who? Li Yuhuai looked at Di Junbai's expression and guessed. "She's alone?" Di Junbai was silent for a moment and said, "If Tang Bao and I get together one day, I hope you can accept it. You like her that much?" Li Yuhuai was surprised. Di Junbai didn't say anything and walked to the study. However, his expression said everything. Li Yuhuai didn't have to worry about Di Junbai's emotions, because Di Junbai had never made her worry since they were young. Especially when it came to his private affairs, he was always well-behaved. Even if there was the whole unruly Tang Bao incident, Li Yuhuai didn't have to worry too much. The only thing she was thinking about now was why Tang Bao went on a trip alone. Was Di Hao Yin willing to go? Was he going on a trip or something else? Li Yuhui went to Lan Wanru's room excitedly. Lan Wanru was fixing the flowers and plants on the balcony. The glass windows on the balcony were all closed, and there was a heater inside. If it wasn't, no matter how beautiful the flowers and plants were, they would freeze to death in the winter. Wanru. Li Yuhui walked into the room. Annie, why are you so happy? Lan Wanru put down the scissors and asked. Let me tell you something good. What is it? Tang Bao ran away from home. What? Ran away from home. Lan Wanru thought of something and said, Hasn't she never lived in a castle? Living in the Tang family doesn't count as running away from home. It's not that. Then what is it? Your brother said that Tang Bao went on a trip alone. We don't know when she'll be back. Does this mean that she knows that she won't be the young master's wife for long? So she's just going for broke? Li Yuhui asked with joy. Lan Wanru was also happy about Tang Bao's behavior, but after thinking about it, he asked, What about Brother Haotian? What does he think? Does he not care? I think so. Otherwise, Tang Bao wouldn't go on a trip alone. What do you think? That's not necessarily true. Tang Bao has always been scheming. If she really wants to go on a trip without Brother Haotian's knowledge, it's not impossible. Especially recently, Brother Haotian's mood has been particularly depressed. It's normal that he doesn't notice. When he finds out, he'll definitely go to Tang Bao, Lan Wanru said with a frown. You don't have to worry about that. Annie will help you ask around. Li Yuhui's so-called asking around was going to the bungalow. In the bungalow, Yu Songhua was also in a bad mood. Chapter 389. What is she busy with? She didn't even have time to eat? Sister-in-law, I'm here to see you. Li Yuhui giggled as she entered the house. Yu Songhua had a perfunctory smile on his face. Every time the people from Diling's in-laws came, they had a purpose. Of course, she knew. However, it wasn't a bad thing to be able to say something that she didn't know. Have a seat. Okay. Li Yuhui sat down. I haven't come to see you for a few days. Sister-in-law's complexion is really getting better and better. Even sister-in-law Wang felt that these words were strange. What did she mean by not coming to see her complexion was getting better and better? If she came to see her often, would her complexion not look good? She really didn't know how to speak. However, Yu Songhua didn't show it. If Li Yuhui was smart, why didn't she have any status in the D family? With you guys thinking about me every day, my complexion will definitely be better, Yu Songhua said with a smile. However, I came today to tell sister-in-law something. Sister-in-law's mood will be even better. What is it? Tang Bao ran away from home. Yu Songhua paused in his action of drinking tea. What did you say? It's true. She said that she was going on a trip. Actually, she was angry and ran away from home. Yu Songhuai's expression changed. Even sister-in-law Wang, who was standing behind him, deliberately looked at Yu Songhua. Haotian knows, right? Yu Songhuai's words weren't a question. How can I not know? Sister-in-law has always disliked Tang Bao. Now that she's gone, it's even better. It's best if she never comes back, Li Yuhui said happily. Yu Songhua did not like the Tang Bao, but when someone else said it, he also felt very uncomfortable. Yu Songhua's expression changed. Li Yuhui thought it was because of the Tang Bao and not because of her inappropriate words, so she continued to say, Sister-in-law, if Haotian doesn't care about this matter after knowing about it, it means that he has already given up on the Tang Bao. Tang Bao had only himself to blame. Who was Haotian? Who dared to put on airs in front of him? She's really spoiled and arrogant. To think that Haotian used to love her so much. That's enough. Yu Songhua interrupted her impatiently. Li Yuhui choked. You can go back. I'm a little tired. Yu Songhua acted as if he didn't see Li Yuhui's stiff face and directly asked her to leave. All right then. Sister-in-law, you should rest first. I'll come and see you next time. Li Yuhui didn't dare to say anything more. Even though she was very unhappy, she still stood up with a smile on her face and left. After Li Yuhui left, Yu Songhua couldn't maintain the perfunctory expression on his face and slammed the cup on the coffee table. Seeing this, sister-in-law Wang said, Old madam, what's wrong with you? Be careful of your hand hurting. What's wrong? Didn't you hear what Li Yuhui said? What did Lian say on the phone? He said that Hao Ian has been busy recently and didn't have time to come over for Christmas. I think it's not that he doesn't have time, but that he spends all his time on the Tang Bao. Old madam, maybe the young master is really busy. After all, he's in charge of such a big tea. You don't have to comfort me. If I can't see through this, then I'm too useless. He still can't let go of the Tang Bao, no matter how much the Tang Bao hurts him. When he heard that the Tang Bao went on a trip alone, how can he sit still? If I asked you to ask around, you would definitely think the same as me. Sister-in-law Wang was speechless. She really couldn't be sure of Di Hao Ian's behavior. Moreover, in the past, she would only come back to eat with Yu Songhuan during the holidays. But she didn't come back this year. This was definitely not something that could be brushed off because he was busy. But if Di Hao Ian didn't want to come, then there was nothing they could do. Di Junbai was in the study room and kept calling the Tang Bao. His phone was turned off the entire time. Why was his phone turned off? Did he not want to be disturbed by anyone? There was a knock on the study door. The person who came in was Di Lingwei. You're not eating? Only then did Di Junbai realize that it was time for dinner. Who are you calling? Di Lingwei saw the phone in Di Junbai's hand and asked. Perhaps he was well aware of it. Did you get through? No. The Tang Bao is not a big person, but he has a bad temper. I don't know if this is a good thing for Di Hao Ian. Di Lingwei's words were filled with mockery. To Di Lingwei, the strong shouldn't have any weaknesses and shouldn't be affected by anything. He felt that Di Hao Ian didn't do well in this aspect. To him, Di Hao Ian's bad was good, because in the past, Di Hao Ian was too strong. He was the kind of person that couldn't be pierced through by any kind of spear. The Tang Bao is really too sad. It's just the loss of a child. What's there to be sad about? So sad that they want a divorce? Di Lingwei snorted. They don't want a divorce. Di Junbai corrected. Anyway, no matter whether they want a divorce or not, you're not allowed to get involved. Wanru can marry Di Hao Ian, but the Tang Bao can't be with you, Di Lingwei said. Then, without caring about Di Junbai's expression, he stood up and left. Di Junbai's expression changed. His expression was solemn. It was normal that she couldn't get through to the Tang Bao's phone. Even if she turned on her phone now, there wouldn't be any signal. She didn't even know where she had walked into the depths of the forest. Didn't they say that it was a tourist attraction with mountains and rivers? All right, there were mountains and rivers. The Tang Bao walked and stopped. She was exhausted. She even had to eat for a day and tomorrow. But it seemed to be a tourist attraction. There were even people setting up stalls. The Tang Bao squatted down beside the stall and sat on a rock. There was an old lady beside the stall. She looked about 60 years old and wore an old-fashioned knitted hat. Her face was full of wrinkles, but she had a kind gaze. She was selling some snacks and egg pancakes. The fragrance wafted over. The Tang Bao was about to stand up and buy one when she saw an egg pancake placed in front of her. You must have been hungry for a long time. I saw you swallowing your saliva. Have one, the old lady said. The Tang Bao was stunned. She thought that the old lady really knew how to do business. She even saw her swallowing her saliva. It's okay. I won't take your money. Huh? Why? Take it. The old lady stuffed the warm egg pancake into her hands. The warm egg pancake spread in her palms and warmed her heart. The old lady must have thought that she had no money. That was why she did this. The Tang Bao wanted to say that she had money, but looking at the old lady's loving gaze, she didn't say anything and ate the egg pancake. It was really delicious. It smelled good and tasted even better. I've been cooking here for decades. No one has said that it's not delicious, the old lady said with a smile. Thank you. It's really delicious. The Tang Bao's mouth was stuffed with food. She had mixed feelings. Chapter 390. She was too pitiful. She was too useless. Traveling had turned her into a beggar. Tang Bao quickly ate the egg pancake. Do you still want to eat? No, I'm full. Tang Bao shook her head. Look at how skinny you are. I know you don't eat much. Tang Bao wanted to say that although she was skinny, she could really eat a lot. She could not stop eating the whole day. However, she was afraid that if she said that she still wanted to eat, the old lady would continue not to accept her money. You're a foreigner, right? Are you here for a vacation? Yes, a vacation. Was your money stolen? The old lady asked again. The scenery here is good, but there are thieves here. Many people have their money stolen. I've seen many of them. Tang Bao looked at the old lady and panicked. She asked, Are there many? Yes, you have to be careful. I will. Thank you. As the two of them were chatting, it began to snow. It's snowing? Tang Bao was as happy as if she had discovered a new world. She reached out and let the snowflakes fall under her hand. Then they slowly melted. It's snowing. I won't set up the stall. I'm going back. After the old lady finished speaking, she began to pack her things. Tang Bao immediately went over to help her pack. Hey, it's okay. I could do it myself. It's okay. I ate one of your pancakes just now. I'm sorry. Just let me pack. The old lady smiled and did not say anything. She let her go and pack. However, it seemed that she did not know how to pack, but the old lady did not say anything. After everything was packed, the old lady pushed the cart and said, I'm leaving. Okay, go back quickly. The road will be slippery when the snow is heavy. Where do you stay? Is there a hotel here? There are only homestays here, no hotels. In the end, Tang Bao stayed at the old lady's house. Because tourists also stayed at the old lady's house. Therefore, there was a special room. Although the things were very ordinary, it was still complete. There was also enough heating, so Tang Bao would not be so cold that he had nowhere to go. The old lady was the only one staying at the old lady's house. He said that his children were working outside and would only come back once every 2 or 3 years because the journey was too far. Tang Bao asked the old lady why she did not live with her children. The old lady said that she didn't want to burden the young people. This was really a kind-hearted old man. Tang Bao stayed there. There were mountains and rivers, but there was no house by the river for her to live in. However, she felt very satisfied. The Tang Bao's mobile phone could not be used, and the game could not be played. The mobile phone here was as good as useless. However, the old lady had a phone at home. Tang Bao stared at the phone in a daze, wondering if he should call Wan Malay. After thinking about it, he decided to drop the idea. She didn't want Wan Malay to call her and asked her to go back for the new year again. Tang Bao went to the kitchen to help. Grandma, what are we having for lunch? What do you like to eat? I'll make it for you, the old lady said with a smile. Tang Bao looked at the smile on the old lady's face and asked, Grandma, you seem to be very happy. Are you this happy every time a tourist comes to stay? Yes. I've lived here alone for a long time. It's livelier when tourists come. Tang Bao felt a little jealous when he heard that. Thinking of the past, no matter how much she and her father quarreled, she would still go back to visit him at some point, because she would miss him too. It was just that she was unwilling to admit it at that time. Grandma's situation was like this. Wouldn't her children regret it in the future? You want to come out to play for a few days? It's almost a new year. You have to go back to reunite with your parents, the old lady said. My parents have passed away. I don't have any relatives. The old lady stopped kneading the dough and looked at her sadly. So, I'm going to stay here for the new year. Grandma, will you be unhappy? Of course not. You can stay here whenever you want. After Tang Bao settled down in his residence, Di Hao Ian was digging 3 feet into the ground to look for him. However, no matter how hard he searched, he could not find Tang Bao. Moreover, Di Hao Ian knew that Tang Bao was not sightseeing in a big city. If it were a big city, he would be able to find Tang Bao in less than a day. However, the place where Tang Bao went to was a remote place. He spread out and searched along the route of the highway hotel last time, but he still could not find any trace of Tang Bao. If Tang Bao was deliberately hiding, it would be even more difficult to find him. However, Di Hao Ian did not give up and stepped up the search. However, the closer it was to the end of the year, the more Di Hao Ian could not stay calm. He did not want Tang Bao to spend the new year alone outside. He would not allow it, and he could not stand it. Di Hao Ian walked into the bedroom. The crystal wolf puppy was still hanging on the lamp on the bedside table. Every night, he did not know how many times he stroked it. He missed the way she was by his side. He missed the way she bit him. He missed how cute she was. Why did he suspect her intentions? Di Hao Ian had to admit that it was because he was too jealous and lost his judgment. During the Cold War with Tang Bao, Di Hao Yin did not know that he would be so irritable. A tall figure stood in front of the window. Looking out, there was a whole field of colorful roses. Di Hao Yin turned around and went down. When he walked to the roses, he found that a few of them were withering. Di Hao Yin's face immediately became gloomy. Someone, Hiju immediately walked forward. Young master, no withered roses are allowed to appear. Yes. Hiju immediately asked someone to change them. Withering seemed to imply some kind of meaning, so they could not appear. There would never be such a day, because he would not allow it. After the roses were dealt with, Di Hao Yin left. He never returned to the castle. He only took the crystal wolf puppy with him. When Yu Songhuan came to the castle, it was cold inside. It was as if the castle had been abandoned and could no longer find its warmth. "Where's Hao Yin?" Yu Songhuan asked Lian. The young master went out. "I've been here for a few days. You've already told everyone. Is he not coming back?" Yu Songhuan's face did not look too good. The young master has been very busy recently. He doesn't have time to come back at night. Lian said, "I heard that Tang Bao ran away from home. Hao Yin went to look for someone, right?" Yu Songhuan pretended to be calm and asked, "We servants are not allowed to ask about the master's affairs, so we don't know the whereabouts of the young master." Yu Songhuan knew Lian's sincerity, but she could not tell if he really did not know or if he was pretending not to know. "What happened in the castle recently?" Yu Songhuan asked. "Nothing happened." Lian said. "No. Why did I hear that Tang Bao ran away from home?" Yu Songhuan asked. "It's like this. The young madam doesn't live in the castle, but she didn't run away from home either. She lives in the Tang family." Lian said. Yu Songhuan's face was a little pale. Chapter 391. However, she could only beat around the bush. In private, she wanted to find out from the other servants. However, for some reason, everyone said that they didn't know. It was as if something was hidden from her, but she couldn't find out. Now, it was very difficult for her to even see Di Hao Yin. Did Hao Yin go to look for the Tang Bao? "I'm sorry, old madam. I don't know." Yu Songhuan's expression almost stiffened. He was so angry that Lian was neither servile nor overbearing. He stood up and left. Yu Songhuan wasn't the only one who came to look for Di Hao Yin. Lan Wanru also came. However, she was stopped outside the castle and was not allowed to enter, because Di Hao Yin had said before that she was not allowed to enter without his permission. So it was true. When it was time to put it into practice, Lan Wanru realized how much her heart hurt. For the sake of the Tang Bao, she could do anything. However, if love could be exchanged with humility, she was willing. Therefore, Lan Wanru stood outside the door and waited. She waited from dawn to dusk, but Di Hao Yin didn't return. "Miss Biao, let's go back. You haven't eaten for a day. If you hurt your body, the gains won't make up for the losses," Belle persuaded. "Do you think Brother Hao Yin will look at me if he knows that I hurt my body because of him?" Lan Wanru asked uncomfortably. "He will definitely. But the young master isn't here now. He won't be able to see you hurt your body. Why does Tang Bao exist? Why does Brother Hao Yin have to be Tang Bao? Why?" Lan Wanru cried as she finished speaking. Then she collapsed. Belle was so scared that she shouted, "Miss Biao!" In the hall, the servant said to Zhang Li, "Miss Lan fainted outside the door. Has she been sent back?" "Not yet. I was just about to ask the supervisor what to do about this matter," the servant said, and was about to leave. He was stopped by Zhang Li, who said, "What's the point of notifying the supervisor? Go and tell them to send him to the hospital. We don't have a doctor here." "Yes." The servant left immediately after she finished speaking. Zhang Li didn't want Lan Wanru to enter the castle again. Besides, she wasn't wrong. Where did the doctor come from in the castle? Wouldn't that delay Lan Wanru's recovery? After returning home, Lan Wanru gradually woke up. Belle fed her the medicine that she had brewed. Li Yuhuai was so annoyed that his heart was about to break. "What's wrong with you? Not only did you go to the castle, but you also damaged your body. Is it worth it? I know that if Brother Hao Yin wants to take a look at me, even if I have to fall sick, I'm willing." But Belle said Hao Yin isn't here. Where did he go? Did he go to look for the Tang Bao? Is he not coming back if the Tang Bao what doesn't come back? Lan Wanru grabbed Li Yuhuai's hand and asked anxiously. This? I don't think so. Li Yuhuai didn't know whether he was saying this to himself or Lan Wanru. She really wasn't sure. Yes, it can't be. It's almost a new year. He can't be outside, Lan Wanru said to comfort himself. However, after Christmas, Di Hao Ian didn't come back. For a long time, Di Hao Ian didn't appear. It was as if the Tang Bao wasn't the only one who disappeared. Di Hao Ian was also missing. Di Hao Ian was now looking for the Tang Bao and finding a place to stay. He didn't care about the environment. Besides, in the remote countryside, no one knew him. It was the kind of place where money couldn't be used. In the most ordinary hotel, no one knew that the king of D City, who changed the weather of D City, lived here. What Di Hao Ian did every day was to look for someone. Other than looking for someone, Di Hao Ian stood motionless by the window. The sky outside had already darkened. Hiju walked into the room and looked at the motionless figure with his back facing him. He said hesitantly, "Young master, there's no trace of young madam. How many days until the new year?" 5 days. You must find her before 5 days, no matter what the price is. Di Hao Ian's black eyes were filled with crazy persistence. Yes, Hiju answered, but in his heart, he wasn't optimistic. He didn't know if the Tang Bao deliberately went to such a remote place with no signal. They had no other choice but to search inch by inch like they were turning the ground upside down. However, he would do his best to find her. He hoped that the Tang Bao would sense Di Hao Ian's eagerness and appear on his own. However, this possibility was slim. He had witnessed the conflict between the two of them back then. The one who couldn't accept such a truth the most was Di Hao Ian. He would probably rather hope that the Tang Bao would abort the child on his own accord. Because Di Hao Ian could forgive the Tang Bao, but he couldn't forgive himself. At that time, Hiju saw Di Hao Ian's painful expression every day and knew that even if the Tang Bao did something wrong, he would forgive him, sooner or later. However, the truth had changed, and it had developed to a point that was unbelievable. In the evening, the Tang Bao was sitting at the table with the old grandma for dinner. The Tang Bao felt that the old grandma's cooking was very delicious. Because the old grandma's vegetables were all planted by herself, they had a pure and natural taste. "Grandma, I don't want to leave even if I stay here," the Tang Bao said as he ate. She felt like a foodie. "Then don't leave," the old grandma said with a smile. The wrinkles on her face were especially kind. The Tang Bao looked very kind. It was as if she had a family member. However, she also knew that she was only staying here temporarily. She still had to go back after a year. There were people she was familiar with there, the company that Tang Chishan left for her, and the sentence that awaited Di Hao Ian. She needed to be there. "I'll make you old hen soup tomorrow." No, the Tang Bao refused. Chapter 392. She hated Di Hao Ian for marrying her and not letting her marry Di Junbai. If she married Di Junbai, there wouldn't be so many problems. When she thought about how Di Hao Ian ignored her, brought a woman back to the castle, and was intimate with Lan Wanru, she felt that she was about to die from anger. But what could she do? She couldn't win against Di Hao Ian. In the end, she fell asleep as she thought about it. After that, Tang Bao didn't think much about it anymore. Perhaps he knew that it was useless to think about it. He had to learn to give up. Tang Bao felt that he was not a wishy-washy person. He slept all the way until daybreak. Tang Bao's problem was that he couldn't get up in the morning. It was a problem that he had developed in the past. He thought about waking up in the morning to make breakfast for his grandmother. However, every time he thought about waking up early, he would find that breakfast was already on the table. Grandma brought the noodles to the table. When she saw Tang Bao get up, she said, "Eat noodles in the morning." Tang Bao stared at the noodles in a daze. He thought of the assorted noodles he ate in the castle and was in a daze. While eating, Tang Bao asked, "Grandma, are you going out to set up the stall today?" "Yes." "Then I'll go with you." "No need. It's not too far away. I'll go by myself. I have nothing to do at home. Let me go." Tang Bao really had nothing to do. He just stayed at home every day to talk to the small animals. But she hoped that she could help more. Okay, go if you want to. After breakfast, they went to set up the stall when it was almost noon, because Grandma said that there would be no one in the tourist area if it was too early. But Tang Bao felt that there would be no one, even from afternoon to night. There were very few people. They only sold more than 10 yuan in a day. But the old granny was very energetic. Grandma, are there any towns nearby? Tang Bao asked. Yes. Then we can go to the town to sell. There must be more people there. I'm alone, and I'm old. I can't go so far. You used to be alone, but now you have me. Grandma, I'll go with you. Grandma also wanted to go. Besides, if she could earn money, it would be good to sell more snacks. However, she was still a little hesitant. It will be very tiring. Although Grandma was old, she could still tell that Tang Bao, this little customer, had never done any work before. His hands were as tender as scallions, and I think it's very interesting. Under Tang Bao's insistence, on the same day, the two of them pushed the cart. While Tang Bao was walking, he thought to himself that he should have gained more experience. Otherwise, if he didn't know anything in the future, how would he be able to eat the northwest wind? When she was alone outside, how could she have a castle to shelter her from the wind and rain? She had to do everything herself. If she couldn't even endure this little hardship, what was the use of her? When they arrived at the town, Tang Bao was almost half dead. However, when they finally saw the town, Tang Bao felt that all her hard work was worth it. The town looked a little like an ancient town. Perhaps it was because it was a tourist attraction. There were many stalls. There were all kinds of strange trinkets. Tang Bao looked at Grandma and smiled. She asked, Grandma, how long has it been since you came to the town? I haven't been here for 2 years. You've changed a lot. Tang Bao thought that Grandma definitely couldn't come here alone. In the future, when she got older and couldn't walk, she wouldn't come here. Moreover, he heard that it was easy for her to get lost when she was old. It would be bad if she got lost. Tang Bao felt that bringing Grandma to the town was the right choice. Then we'll come here every day to set up a stall, Tang Bao said. You like it too? Yes, I like it very much. The two of them quickly found a corner to set up a stall, because it was a fresh stall in Grandma's cooking. Soon, people came up to buy egg pancakes and even other snacks. Tang Bao only needed to collect money at the side, because cooking was Grandma's specialty. She couldn't do it. For the first time, Tang Bao felt the thrill of doing business. Especially when collecting money, the sense of accomplishment was indescribable. While the business here was in full swing, a few young men approached. Some of them had sticks in their hands and shouted as they walked. It seemed like they were collecting protection money. The sticks pushed away the customers in front of the stall. When the customers saw that these people were not to be trifled with, they scattered and didn't even want the snacks. Grandma and Tang Bao looked at these young men nervously. They didn't know what they were going to do. They were unfamiliar with this place and didn't want to offend anyone. Who allowed you to set up a stall here? Did you ask for our permission? The leader of the group was a dark-skinned man. When he spoke, his nose was in the air. I'm sorry, big brother. We're just running a small business. Tang Bao immediately explained. Don't you need our permission for a small business? He was interrupted. The stick in the man's hand banged on the lid of the pot. He was very arrogant. Tang Bao looked at these young men and asked, Are you the city enforcement officers here? Why aren't the city enforcement officers wearing uniforms? Who cares about the city enforcement officers? In this village, we call the shots. Tang Bao saw that they were not to be trifled with. They didn't even care about the city enforcement officers. He could only say, Then we won't set up a stall. Sorry, we'll leave now. Tang Bao said as she packed up. However, a stick fell on her arm, indicating that she shouldn't move. Tang Bao was stunned and didn't move. He didn't know what they were going to do. What's wrong? You've been setting up a stall for so long. Don't you need to pay protection money? Tang Bao lowered his head and looked at the lunchbox in his hand. He then looked at those people and understood that they were here to collect protection money. How much do you want? Tang Bao asked. We want all of it, including the money on you. But we've just been here for a while, and we've only sold a few dozen yuan. Isn't the protection money too expensive? Tang Bao's expression didn't look too good. What was the difference between this and robbery? So what? Ask the people setting up stalls here. Who doesn't pay? Who doesn't dare to pay? The leader pointed at the other stalls with a stick and said. Tang Bao looked over and saw that the others didn't dare to say a word. With Tang Bao's personality, he would have already thrown a brick at them. However, she had to face 6 or 7 people. Grandma was beside her. She couldn't handle it at all. But if you really don't want to pay, it's not like there's no other way. What way? Tang Bao looked at the man's suddenly disgusted eyes and asked defensively. Call me Big Brother. Big Brother. Chapter 393. I called you that. That should be enough, right? Tang Bao asked. The man did not expect her to call him that so readily. Instead, he was stunned. She was too spineless, wasn't she? The man thought of the last time he asked a woman to call him brother. She refused even when he tried to persuade her. The girl in front of him, who looked like a young girl, piqued his interest. Tang Bao thought to himself, spineless? At this time, she did not even know what spinelessness was. Since you called me brother, as your brother, I have to return the favor. How about this? Come eat with me. I'll take you to eat delicious food. Grandma could tell that these people were up to no good. She was afraid that Tang Bao would be taken advantage of, so she quickly said, I'm sorry, everyone. My granddaughter doesn't know anything. Can you let us go? You could take all the money. We don't want it. I don't want it anymore. Don't know anything? It's fine as long as you know how to play, the other men said hooliganically. Tang Bao did not want to play with them. He did not want to be entangled with them. It was just a few dollars. Tang Bao gave him the money in the metal box and the cell phone on him. We only have this much money. There's nothing else, Tang Bao said. The man wanted money and the cell phone. However, when he saw the broken screen on the cell phone, he asked, This is worth money too? Only one screen is broken. The rest are fine, Tang Bao said. The man in the lead was still wondering if this was fake when a man next to him stretched his head over and said in surprise, Boss, this cell phone is worth a lot. How do you know? I only saw it on the news occasionally. Ordinary people can't afford this kind of cell phone. The man looked at Tang Bao in confusion. How could a stall owner have such an expensive cell phone? Well, if you don't believe me, you can go to the cell phone store and ask if it's worth a lot, Tang Bao said. If we go, you'll run away? Let me tell you, little girl, I have my eyes on you. You can't run away. The man was lustful from the moment he saw Tang Bao. He had never seen such a beautiful girl in this town. If you're worried, leave 2 people here to watch over us. We can't run away even if we want to. Tang Bao said with a sweet smile on her face. If I follow you, you'll be able to take care of Grandma and me in the future. This is also a good thing. All right, I guess you won't be able to pull any tricks anyway. The leader of the group went to the mobile phone store with his underlings, leaving 2 of his underlings to look after Tang Bao and Grandma. Grandma was so scared that she pulled Tang Bao's hand and whispered, You run first, I'll stop them. Anyway, I'm just an old woman. They won't do anything to me. Tang Bao was very touched. She was so sincere to a stranger. Grandma, don't worry. If we're leaving, we'll leave together. But how do we get there? I have an idea. Tang Bao looked in the direction of the mobile phone store and said in surprise, Ah, they're here so soon. The 2 lackeys turned their heads and looked over. Tang Bao raised a brick in his hand and knocked one of them unconscious. The other wanted to turn around, but the brick hit his forehead. His eyes rolled back and he fainted. Grandma looked at the 2 people who had fainted in surprise and did not come back to her senses. Tang Bao hurriedly packed up. Grandma, hurry up, we have to run. Otherwise, they'll be back soon. Grandma came back to her senses and immediately packed up. When the leader and his underlings came over happily, they only saw the unconscious underlings on the ground and the stall that had long disappeared. He was so angry that he kicked the person on the ground and woke him up directly. Damn it, where are they? The 2 of them got up from the ground, still dizzy. Boss, we were knocked unconscious and they ran away. 2 people, one old and one weak, and yet you let them run away. What's the use of you? The boss slapped them. However, The underlings did not dare to be angry or say anything. The few of them went to the best restaurant in town to eat while cursing. They sat down in the hall. The boss was there, rubbing his chin and looking at his mobile phone. There was a scheming look in his eyes. The underling next to him comforted him. "Boss, calm down. This mobile phone is worth a lot of money, and that girl didn't lie. You don't know, but our boss is attracted to beauty," another underling said, gritting his yellow teeth. The boss put on his airs and said, "Humph. With this mobile phone, I don't believe that girl can run away." "Boss, what do you mean?" "As long as someone calls, I'll answer it. Then I can ask for the girl's address, and I can go to her personally." The boss's eyes shone with a wretched light, as if he was imagining the exciting scene of him going to the girl's door to bully her. Di Hao Ian called Tang Bao every day. He would call him almost every few minutes, and every time the phone was turned off. He did not expect that the call would go through this time. Di Hao Ian's heart suddenly tightened. He answered the call, and his voice was low and deep, as if he was suppressing his emotions. "Where are you?" The boss was shocked by the low voice. He could not see the caller on the screen, and he did not know who it was. He did not know why he was shocked when he heard the voice. What was there to be scared of? Only other people were scared of him. So he cleared his throat and said, "Are you a friend of the owner of this mobile phone?" Di Hao Ian's sharp black eyes darkened. "Who are you?" "It's like this. I'm a friend of this mobile phone. She dropped her mobile phone with me, and I want to send it to her. But I don't know where she lives. Do you know? I'm sending her a mobile phone." After the boss finished speaking, the underling next to him gave him a thumbs up. Di Hao Ian did not change his expression. "Where are you now?" "It's a village. It's not too far from where she lives, so there's no need to trouble you. I'll send it to her personally. You should know where she lives, right?" "Yes." "Then tell me the address." After Di Hao Ian told him the address, his eyes were cold and emotionless. After the boss put down the phone, he had a thoughtful look on his face. "Boss, what's wrong?" the underling asked. "The address is a little far, but it doesn't matter. If I can get the little beauty, it doesn't matter if it's a little far." That's right, that's right. "Boss, when you're done, it's our turn to have some fun." The underlings had a wretched look on their faces. "No, I'm going to develop that beauty into a long-term girlfriend." "Stop nagging." "Boss, why are you different this time? In the past, you would let us play with anything that you played with." "I think the boss is moved." "Boss, don't tell me you're thinking of marrying someone else." The boss was not angry at being teased. Instead, he was happy. Then he asked, "I'm sending the mobile phone over. Should I buy a gift? I don't want to scare her." "Boss, girls love roses the most. Roses represent love." "Okay, let's do that." You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.